this is. I don't know what's going on with my stream. Like, I don't know why my internet is doing this. It keeps doing this. Where it just drops for some reason. Don't know. Snowed 2 days ago, and now it's shorts weather today. How hot is shorts weather according to you, Monkey? Because I don't trust that one fucking bit. The Prodigies, how you doing, bro? I don't trust that. Whenever people from snowy areas tell me that it's shorts weather, that's bullshit. Because I'm guaranteeing you, if it was that hot or cold in South Africa, people would be wearing jackets. 75 fucking freedom units. Hold up, I need to check what is 75 freedom units in Celsius. All right, let's see. 75 freedom units in Celsius. I love that Google isn't even correcting me. Like, just want to show you guys. It doesn't even correct it. Like, it's fine. I can call it freedom units, and Google knows exactly what I'm talking about. 23 degrees. All right, not quite jacket weather, but definitely not shorts weather. At 23 degrees, you are still sort of. It is chilly. So it's a little chilly out. Erickson, how you doing, bro? Hopefully the stream doesn't drop again. Hopefully everything, remains as it is. In the shade? In the shade what? Truffle. I'm not sure what you mean by in the shade, though. You mean 23 degrees in the shade? It would be chilly at 75? I don't know, even outside. Because today was about 23 degrees and I was cold. I was fucking cold today. Hold up, I'm checking now. Yeah, it was about 24 degrees Celsius today. I was cold. Like, legitimately, I have had this jacket on ever since I woke up. Like, I woke up, got out of the shower, and instantly into this jacket because it was chilly. And it's about 20 degrees now. So it was more than 75 degrees Fahrenheit today. And it was sort of fucking cold. Macmillan, how you doing, bro? We have 110 Fahrenheit in our summers. Yeah, for fuck's sake, I need to do conversions again here. What is 110 freedom units in Celsius? Oh, I'm checking. 43 degrees. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bit toasty. I would say usually here about 35, 36 maybe, but not 43. 43 is like very special areas in South Africa. It can get to 43. No. Well, boy, he's talking in Fahrenheit. I'm talking in Celsius. I'm using the right measurement to calculate this shit in, because you guys are using the wrong one. Like, that's the one thing that I'm gonna change when I get to the US. I'm gonna teach all of the US people the metric system, because I do believe that the world would be in a better place if everyone switched to the metric system. I think people using any other system than the metric system is just doing it wrong. You're making life too complicated for everyone else. The other day, I legitimately saw a stovetop in South Africa that is measured in Fahrenheit. And I thought to myself, no one's buying that. There's not a single South African that I know of that would buy that fucking stove, except if they're really old, because I believe South Africa used to use Fahrenheit like 30, 40 years ago. Somewhere in the 70s, so actually 40 years ago, but somewhere in the 70s, South Africa went through a massive push to switch from the imperial system to the metric system. And since then, it's been the metric system just always. That's the one that everyone uses. Easy system is the system you grew up with. We used the king's measurements. A yard was his leg, a foot was his foot, and an inch was his penis. Baltazar, how you doing, bro? No one's penis is just an inch long. Well, boy, that is bullshit. I don't even think micro penis is just an inch long. An inch is really fucking tiny, bro. Like, really tiny. Your ball sack would be bigger than your fucking dick if you had an inch dick. Like, these are the legends of my lads. Your lads lie to you. What's going on here? Your fucking lads are lying to you, wild boy. So how's everyone doing tonight? I am a little bit tired. I have not slept well for the last 2 days. That's actually why I didn't stream yesterday. Yesterday after the DM session, I had 2 hours of sleep. Like a fucking solid 3 hours of sleep, sorry. It was like 2 hours and 50 something minutes. Unbroken, because I slept for about 2 hours, woke up, and then I fell asleep for about 50 minutes again. And then I woke up and then I couldn't sleep again. But by the time I legitimately got to, by the time I got to evening time where I should be streaming, I was just dead fucking tired. Arkiel, I am well aware of that, although joke's on you, because even with a bad sleep schedule, I've been losing weight, so, you know, that is obviously bullshit. You can lose weight without a fucking sleep schedule. Obviously. If you put less in than what you take out, you lose weight. Just, like, fucking guaranteed, regardless of what the fuck you're sleeping, like how much you're sleeping, you will be losing weight if you put less in than what you take out. I'm aware that resting is important, but when you wake up and it's like, I'm awake now, then what do? Right? How do you fucking fix that? Scars, thank you so much for telling something. Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the Fat Fuckers Club. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hard to sleep as Savannah fan these days if she might die. Savannah's won't die. Joe Burrow, how you doing, brother? Savannah's will almost guaranteed not die. Play WoW? Actually, I like WoW, so I wouldn't sleep instantly if I was playing WoW. I think the story of WoW is absolutely amazing. Granted, there's a lot of gameplay issues, and that's actually something that I was watching, or I was about to watch before I had to go to the shop, but I was about to watch Balila's new video on the WoW development team, so we can watch that together. Nothing happening for now, though. We are progressing that merchant lady now, always forgetting name, so maybe 16 today. I don't raid anymore. Now that I find boring. Raiding is ridiculously boring to me. Blizzard isn't going to kill off their main char that most people love. Kylie K, how you doing? I do agree with you on that. I do think, though, there is some cause for concern, maybe, because there's a book literally coming out being called Sylvanas from Christy Golden, which might just be Blizzard sort of celebrating her for the last time, right? Just sort of giving us a final celebration of who Sylvanas was before she disappears into the nether forever. I'm obviously hopeful that that is not the case. All signs at the moment point to Sylvanas not being the one that dies at the end of this expansion. But then again, Blizzard is nothing if not unpredictable with whatever they're going to do. You're going to kill the main character, Venari, Truffle Shuffle. What about Venari? I miss good raids. Ashes in New World may not beat WoW, but I'll be raiding like a motherfucker. Same for D4. There is absolutely zero chance, zero fucking chance that that Ashes of Creation or New World even gets fucking close to beating WoW, or even gets close to kicking it. Don't kick me from Twitch. I really hope she does not get a redemption. Shadow Grove, obviously I won't kick you, but you will be wrong and you will have to apologize when you finally realize that she didn't die. So is that a deal we can make? Wolf Joke, how you doing, bro? Do we get an answer to what happens if you die in the Shadowlands? Wolf Joke, are you talking about as the player or the sort of lore characters of the game? I'm most women, so kind of don't mind on that deal. That's fine, as long as they survive, it'll be my fave. Someone said they were farming her rep and they didn't know her name. Lol, the character's not the player. Oh, Wolfjock, you are dead. So if a resident of the Shadowlands dies within the Shadowlands, they are completely dead, right? So it is game over. Thanks for playing. Never again, right? At least that's according to Steve the Newser. Now, Blizzard seems to be on a bit of a fucking hype train with all of their retcons and stuff. There's just been a brand new retcon surrounding Prince Ranithal and the creation of the Nathrezim. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Has anyone seen sort of a big reveal around the Nathrezim and Prince Ranithal? If you're on the Discord, you most likely already saw it. If you're not on the Discord, there is an obvious chance that you have not seen this yet. So we will be covering this. I also wonder what is going to happen with him. What is going to happen with whom? Bro, imagine the Jailer or Odin breaking the veil and we see at the end all the cosmological planes. So, All Knight, I would love that. But at the same time, there is sort of an argument to be made here that if Blizzard does that, right, it could alienate a very large portion of the player base. Because there's a lot of people in World of Warcraft that doesn't necessarily give a shit about the sort of macro level cosmological stories. There's a lot of people that really do not give a shit. Let me just quickly put this on Discord because I know there's a couple of people that that want me to put this on Discord whenever I go live. So let's just put that out there so everyone knows. Everyone that fucking wants to know knows. I'm excited for Odin. I hope they don't just turn him into Sylvanas food. No, I do think that. I do wonder though if Odin's time isn't going to be very soon-ish. But then again, someone like Odin most likely would be something that the players take down themselves, rather than it being sort of a, sort of a cosmological battle between two beings. Golden, thank you so much for the follow. Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. Ziang, how you doing, bro? So yeah, I don't know. So look, guys, there's a lot of questions, right? Germanio, how you doing? There is a lot of questions about the future of a lot of characters in World of Warcraft. Let's be very honest, right? Sanon, thank you so much for what's up, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the Fat Fuckers Club. Thank you. And then, of course, Zofia, the lovely Zofia. Thank you so much for the tier 2 sub. Really appreciate that. 32 months in a row. Thank you. Germanio, doing good. How's you? I have no complaints, Germanio. I didn't sleep well last night again, but it was at least more than the previous night, so that's good. Slappy Cat, how you doing? But outside of that, I had a pretty relaxed day, actually. I sort of fell into a hole. I wanted to make a video today, did not get to it. But I wanted to make a video today, and then I sort of fell into a, shall we call it, a sort of a rabbit hole on YouTube, where I was just watching salted foods the whole day. I got into the recipe list, like they have these recipe list challenges where the normals have to cook things without a recipe, and it's really difficult things. So in one instance, they were making a Swedish princess cake without a recipe, and I just sort of fell in a hole where after about 5 hours, I realized I've literally been watching this for 5 hours now. This is insane. So yeah, Natalie Frost, how you doing? Kildana, how you doing? My back is perfect. Thank you very much for asking. Eddie, how you doing? I'm very good. Thank you very much for asking. Plagueoff, thank you so much for the follow, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. When I have issues sleeping, will you send me down the would I lie to you hole? And Saven Raven, how you doing? Germanio, what's your thoughts on Would I Lie to You so far? Because anyone that hasn't watched Would I Lie to You yet, you are missing out. I will say this right off the bat. Do yourself a favor, if you're a fan of comedy, search "Would I Lie to You" on YouTube. You will not be able to stop laughing. That shit is fucking hilarious. A hole that big in South Africa isn't a rabbit hole. It's got to be a giraffe hole. Why would a giraffe have a hole? I think they're keeping authors as an ace up their sleeve. They are playing with all the Warcraft 3 fans. Saturn, I think they're building him up to much, much more. Right? So I think they are sort of having their build up towards authors. Like I said in some of my previous discussions, I am a little bit afraid of what happens when we finally get to the end of Shadowlands, where the story is meant to really blow out and they run out of time, like they've done in so many other expansions. Do we then just get a watered down story at the end of it? Frogcast, how you doing, bro? So that's my biggest fear right now with Shadowlands. Not that the story isn't amazing. I think the story is absolutely insane. But it's what happens when Blizzard runs out of time. Because if history is anything to go by, Blizzard is no stranger to the idea of just saying, well, fuck it, let's move on. Right? They've done it so far, literally, with Warlords of Draenor, with Legion to some extent. The whole Argus thing felt extremely rushed. Stray, how you doing? Felt extremely rushed. You had, in Battle for Azeroth, N'Zoth was rushed beyond belief. And now we get into Shadowlands, and I am sort of wondering and worrying that it could be rushed as well towards the end, where they just realize, oh shit, you know, we're far behind on schedule on the next expansion. We don't know what to do, so fuck it. I hope they just extend the XP so the history is good. I would actually not mind if they extended the expansion and just keep going until the story is finished. But then, sadly, not everyone gives a shit about the story. So there's a ton of people that don't care. They just want new content, new shiny things. Such a huge build-up, and then such a fucking letdown on all night. As I said in a previous live stream, N'Zoth was the literal equivalent from finally getting to visit your girlfriend. You're in the bedroom. She's busy unbuttoning her shirt. And then her mum calls her and she runs out. You were this close to seeing titty. You were this close to having sex. And none of that is now happening because, you know, you've been fucked. Effectively, not in a good way. So that is effectively what the end of BFA was. It was this massive build-up to N'Zoth being the ultimate big bad, this old god that's been waiting for so long, and then just flaccid penis. Frogcast, thank you so much for what's up, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. 3 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the Dark Lady and the Bearded Man. Really appreciate that, bro. Then it was a pumple with teeth. Giraffes have 3 hearts, to be exact. 3 hearts. I didn't even know that. Kashi Pop, how you doing? It is, well, it's the best analogy you can dream of, right? I promise I'm not even mad about the retcon. I think you are mad about the retcon, Apocalypse. Even though I'm not that angry about the retcon, I think you are angry about the retcon. N'Zoth blue balls. You're mad about everything, OG? Truth. Blizz really stacked it with making WoW Classic and Shadowlands. They could have properly revamped WoW or just worked on making a new one, I think. Would appreciate and play that more. People love WoW Universe, but not the gameplay anymore. I thought that's Octopi, which have 3 hearts. Wait. I'm confused now. Which is the one that has 3 hearts? But there is actually something that we can watch before we get into the spoilers for tonight that I wanted to start watching before I had to go to the shop. So you guys can now have the honor. And I'm really sorry if you don't find this honorable or even an honor for you. I guess go make a cup of coffee and come back later. But I want to watch this because I just like Bally's take on these types of issues. So definitely something I want to watch. Have you read about the new book coming about Sylvanas? Yes, Shannon. I've tweeted it literally moments after WoW had revealed it. I was very excited, and I am still very excited. It seems like we're getting spoiled with all the books and shit coming out, so I definitely have no complaints. But anyways, let's watch this. I'll stop. Well, actually, let's stop the music. Let's just fucking turn it down. Yeah, we'll do this, and then hopefully this will work.
With us players, if there's so much strife for World of Warcraft players, you know there's strife in the team.
Yeah, and it can't feel good if you're one of the junior developers who really wants to push something, or maybe not even a junior developer, maybe like someone who's been established but just not.
All right, so for those of you, a little bit of backstory. This has been sort of a recurring theme on Balula's new live stream. It's sort of this discussion about what is happening within Blizzard, right? And within how Blizzard sort of approaches the game. But I really want to see where this goes, because I've been following sort of all of these topics from Balula. And just a very quick thing for anyone that still doesn't know who Balula really is, he is actually a game developer, right? So if there's ever going to be anyone that has any sort of idea about what is going wrong within game development, it's someone like Balula. Because unlike almost every other content creator that you might be listening to, myself included, I don't have a clue about how games actually get developed. I know what I would like to play, and I know what would be fun, but I don't know what the ins and outs of any given expansion would be, what it would take to actually make that expansion work. So for me, this is always very interesting to listen to Balula's takes on these issues. And then, of course, we'll be discussing it as we go along.
Not high enough to actually divert resources into what you want to do. Well, but it must suck so bad to have this like burning force to want to make it better, but be unable to, and then going on to forums and seeing, especially if you're
I sort of so Nicolo, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. 2 months in a row. Thank you. Finally able to support you, my man. Nicola, I really, really appreciate that, bro. Thank you. I do want to say, though, something that sort of bothers me with this analogy is I don't know to what extent this is fair. Because to my mind, even some of the newer faces in World of Warcraft, whenever I hear them talking about the game, they seem to think that this is a good way of developing the game. They seem to think that this is how it should be.
If you heavily identify with Blizzard as a group of developers, because you've been a fan for however long, you worked really hard, you got in there, you identify with another group, to see people call Blizzard devs all manner of things on official forums, that's bound to get you down, especially if it's like...
My question to him would be, okay, first and foremost, want to make this very clear. You should absolutely never be calling Blizzard developers names. I don't care who you think is to blame for whatever problem that exists right now within the World of Warcraft universe. You should just not do that. It's not a good way of getting your point across, and ultimately just not good, right? Not good. You should not be doing it. That being said, however, why is the veteran developers not looking at the exact same fucking forums? Because if they were looking at the exact same forums, they would realize that a lot of players aren't especially happy with the gameplay of World of Warcraft. And that is something that needs to change. I don't know, just a fucking thought.
Something you feel like you could have fixed, but the resources weren't there, or something to that effect. It must be really, really bad on like morale in every way.
I just don't understand it. Like, it's getting to the stage where it's so illogical, some of the stuff they do, that I just cannot understand how I just can't understand how they make the mistakes that they make.
I want to ask this of all of you in chat right now. You are obviously players or ex-players or people that still follow the game. How many of you have these moments where Blizzard announces something for a new expansion and you just go, oh, not again. Here we go again. Like, how often has that happened to you? Like, from a genuinely, How often has that happened? Where you look at it and you just go, "Oh my god, here we go again. This is going to be another fucking mistake." Every expect, obviously, not at all to me. Literally one thing at least every patch, pretty often. You see, now this is where I sort of start to feel like, what's going on then? If every player, right? Because we've said it from the beginning, right? From the beginning, I said Shadowlands is going to be amazing with the story. The Covenants are going to suck, which now seems to be sort of everyone that defended Covenants have now sort of joined the club. Everyone now agrees Covenant's not that fun. The whole idea of being locked into a Covenant, not that fun. The thing that the Covenant was going to fundamentally change your class has now turned out to be complete and utter bullshit. Everyone knows that that is clearly not what happened, which is what I said. Like, not just me, everyone said this. It's not that big of a buff. It's not that big of a change to your class. It's not, and as people might think, sort of a mini talent tree. It really isn't that impactful. And now people are sort of realizing, hey, you know, okay, these things clearly aren't fucking working. These things clearly do not complement the game. But why is Blizzard not doing it? Like, why can Blizzard not see those same mistakes? And this is not, I'm not being malicious. I'm not asking a malicious question here. I'm genuinely asking if the player base can go, whoa, maybe not. Then why can Blizzard not see that? Something must be wrong if the developers can't see the problems that literal noob gamers, so people who do not develop games, see the problems as they come, but the developers do not.
Because at least to me, they seem so intuitively, obviously mistakes that you don't even need to think about it academically or...
Wolfjoke, you just made a very important point there. I genuinely believe that sometimes Blizzard's biggest downfall... Tiger, how you doing, bro? Sometimes Blizzard's biggest downfall is pride. And the best example I have of this is Titan Forging and War Forging. I don't know how many of you know this, but towards the start of BFA, it was quite a bit into BFA, there was an interview where Ian literally said Titan Forging and War Forging is not going away. There's no problems with it. It works as it should. Like, that was legitimately Ian's words. It's fine. We don't have to change it. Towards the end of BFA, they finally realized, well, this shit system doesn't work and nothing we do can fix it. It's almost, to me, as if it sometimes runs into this thing of they think all that needs to happen is the players need a little bit more time to have their minds changed. Like, they believe the players is wrong, but if we give them a little bit of time, they'll have their minds changed. And that's not really how that works. People don't change their minds, right? Like, when an expansion or patch launches, they send out a list of what they expect players to have issues with, so customer service is prepared. So they have a list, but they don't fix the list. They just continue and go on as if it doesn't matter. I think the Covenants are nice for the storytelling, the flow of the world itself, and interacting with other zones, and they served a nice purpose for that as well, just not the gear alone, which I liked. Agreed, they get their mindset every 2 years. That's the problem, right? They do seem to be on this bend where if we keep doing it long enough, people will accept it. And then people don't accept it, and finally, they have to admit, oh, we made a mistake. Clearly, people... You think you do, but you don't? Oh, it's meant 100% true. 100% true. But anyways, let's continue watching this.
You know, break out the charts. It's like, based on raw experience and feel and, you know, instinct and gut, you just know some of this shit's stupid. They keep on doing it. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's why David Kim left or an Omar Gonzalez left or anything like that, but, I mean, man, you just don't... You just get bad juju from the whole thing, right? And then also, I guess the other thing, I mean, people have often said that Blizzard's an old boys club.
Yeah.
I've very often heard
I don't
that.
know if-
So I mean,
Is that true? Natalie, is Blizzard an old boys club? Is it sort of a place where if you're not part of the inner circle, then really you're not listened to? All the boys left? Well, all the boys are about to leave. There is still some boys in there. Well, it can be clicky. I think, to be fair though, just in the defense of Blizzard, that is sort of true of every single company, right? Not just gaming companies, but every company. People who've been there longer will sort of be in a clique, and they will sort of, have their sort of de facto impromptu meetings without really telling anyone else. So I don't necessarily know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but then at the same time, clearly the old boys is not capable of fixing the issues. And there is another point to be made here. I just saw that they had the article up from, is that David? I think it's David Kwan or something. I can't remember his name. But he left, right? Just after joining the World of Warcraft team for 9 months, he left the company. And you do sort of want to go, why is everyone leaving? Could it be because they've had enough, right? Which is possible.
is it just that case where, an associate or a junior or even just a regular doesn't actually have the ability to be like, no, seriously, I truly believe in this. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it just doesn't. It's depressing.
Yeah,
it's fucking depressing.
They have to bend very soon, or they will break. And I think we're watching the.
I don't know
if
I agree with that.
So I guess hopefully they can replace those developers with people who show promise initially and give them the runway to actually.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was just it was just my AirPods. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It almost feels like just a bit of shot of new blood, a shot of just some change. I don't know. It's like whatever the current setup is, it's producing the same problems again and again.
Yeah.
It seems decently obvious that something about the current setup should change, and I don't know whether that means changing up how they allocate their budgets.
I sort of don't necessarily disagree with him, but at the same time, such a shakeup can lead to some pretty bad. It could be worse, right? So let's imagine Blizzard. And by the way, Wildboy, the point I was making wasn't really about men versus women, because I mean we call it an old boys club, but if the old boys is filled with a bunch of old women who just sort of worked there longer and now they're in control, that would still technically be called an old boys club, because basically it just refers to really, I think it sort of refers to the base idea or the base example I can come up with is the meetings happening on the golf course and not really happening in the office, right? And so those people who aren't invited to the golf course, they never really get to influence the direction of the company because they're sadly not at the golf course, right? And that is sort of where Blizzard is. But I do think the current meta at Blizzard is a little scuffed at the moment. One has to wonder what all of these high-level employees leaving is doing to the company structure, right? Well, I keep getting ads after I subscribed. Saturn, you should not be getting ads after you subscribed. Like, once you've subbed, you should not be getting any ads. So if that keeps happening, definitely reach out to Twitch and fucking tell them. Or do what Natalie does, just refresh. When bean counters control development, it all goes to shit. I don't even want to say that that is the case. So here's the reason why I think the argument that bean counters or the accounting department is sort of running World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is the cash cow of Blizzard. If you remove World of Warcraft, there is really no Blizzard, right? The other Blizzard games do not make enough money anywhere near to carry the company. That company will disappear overnight should World of Warcraft fail. So there is an argument to be made here that Activision doesn't fuck with that. No one fucks with WoW. Just let WoW be, let WoW do its thing. It's still bringing in the fucking moolah, right? So I don't think the people at Activision is completely stupid. So I do think this is more of a philosophical, sort of a philosophical approach rather than something that they're being forced into. I do not believe that Ian and the team is being forced into making this game that they do not want to make. And I do want to say that this is based on talking to developers that work for Blizzard, who is they didn't say why the issues exist, because the conversation wasn't about issues within World of Warcraft. It was actually just about how do they decide what to go with and how to do things. And the idea that I got from talking to this developer wasn't that they're being forced by anyone. They genuinely believe this is the right way to do it. They genuinely think that this is how World of Warcraft should be made.
Changing up how they, plan things in advance, changing up whatever about their internal processes. I don't know, but
Kazragor, thank you very much for becoming a patron, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Liked it. Just one little thing. The Red Star is the soul of Sargeras. Part of the video with full explanation to this. Alex Afrishiabi once said that if the Red Star would disappear, we are in trouble. Yes, but the idea that it is the soul of Sargeras is a very big leap, right? It is literally based on speculation. And in order to get to the soul of Sargeras, it is speculation on top of speculation. So it's great that Pyro said that, and I don't necessarily disagree with him. I don't have an agreement or disagreement in that regard, but it is based on Pyromancer speculation. And if you've been around for a while, which you have, Krasnogor, you'd know that I almost never base my speculations on other people's speculation. I'm aware of the speculation that goes around in the speculation verse, if you will, but I purposefully do not use other people's speculation, which is why I've never used Pyromancer speculation on Argus. Never. I came up with my own speculation on Argus, and whenever I make a video that involves Argus, I will make use of my own speculation on Argus, rather than making use of someone else's when it's speculation, right? It's literally based on guesswork. Remember, speculation is not an exact science. It's not even a science. It's literally us going and saying, well, right, this is where the story is right now. This is sort of where I think the story might be going. Let's see if I can pull threads from point A to point B that would connect the two. That's speculation, right? That's what we do. So I try not to use other people's, unless, of course, someone comes up with a truly remarkable piece of speculation that just blows me away, and their links is absolutely irrefutable. But even then, I'd still prefer to sort of come up with my own stuff. So just on that.
Honestly, just like take maybe the top, like, because I know they have like principal, senior 2, they've got the like director and all that, like executive staff.
Yeah.
Send all of like the top maybe 3 tiers of staff away for not like, don't put them in the gulag, like, but send them a holiday. Like, all right, you've worked really hard. Go off for maybe like 3 weeks, maybe a month, and all of the juniors will just make do and see what comes out at the end. Basically, game jam it in a sense.
Yeah. Okay. No. It's right. It's a buddy cop comedy.
Yep.
Where our 2 main characters are J. Allen Brack and Bobby Kotick, and they
incredible.
have to go on a globe-trotting adventure to, like, I don't know, like just grab Yoshi P, just like, huh, and then just like.
Now that is an interesting reference. Who here doesn't know who Yoshi P is? Who in chat does not know who Yoshi P is? A Tiger, keep your speculation just after the video. I'll read it and then we can talk about it. Who doesn't know who Yoshi P is? Exarchia, how you doing? All right, Yoshi P is the man that fixed Final Fantasy. He literally saved Final Fantasy. When Final Fantasy 1.0 launched, it was it was a shit show, right? This guy went to whoever, right? I don't know who, like the bosses of Square Enix, and he said, "Look, this will destroy the Final Fantasy brand. This game will make it so that you will never sell another Final Fantasy in your life. Just never gonna fucking happen. So he came up with like a list of I don't know how many thousands of things, what was wrong with the game and how to fix it. He is literally single-handedly responsible for the launch of A Realm Reborn, right? Where he basically revamped the entire world and made Final Fantasy what it is today. That's Yoshi P.
Like put him in a little, just a little dungeon, and the way Garrosh is an anima battery at the minute. Yeah. They just like sit there like, ideas, give us ideas, Yoshi P, please.
No. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I started reading the Yoshida Uncensored, which are his bi-weekly Famitsu column on
basically, the messiahs of
FF14 1.0 and turned it into A Realm Reborn. So I've only read a little bit so far, but I think the trick is you put him into, because this is how he planned out fixing the game.
No. Final Fantasy 1.0. So Final Fantasy 14 1.0, Kush Fury. So not the first ever Final Fantasy, but the first ever MMO of Final Fantasy. Pikarku, how you doing?
He sat under a kotatsu for all of Christmas and basically all of winter. Kotatsu is like a heated table with like a blanket with a heater underneath it. So super cozy in the winter. And he
how would a table be super comfy in the winter? I don't necessarily believe that. Vrynara, how you doing?
Just sat there with an ashtray.
Thank you very much for the follow.
And that was overflowing with cigarette ash and an unlimited supply of coffee, and devised the plan to fix the game. So I think that's what they need to do. They need to get him on retainer for a bit.
I genuinely didn't know that. Did you guys follow anything that he just said? Please tell me you listened to what he just said. It was Yoshi from Super Mario. I've never played Super Mario. Well, I did, but years ago when I was a small boy. So I don't remember anything from Super Mario. All right, so he literally just said, Yoshi P has these blogs. I've read some of it. He has these blogs that he releases with the exact insight into how he fixed Final Fantasy 14. Now, according to what he just said there, Yoshi P literally spent the entirety of December and January sat with an ashtray and coffee just thinking about the game. That's literally all he did. He was literally just thinking about the game and every single thing that was wrong with the game and trying to eventually fix all of the problems that existed within the game.
But I just bring him gifts of coffee and cigarettes. Like here, could you list problems and how to solve them, please?
Oh, that's funny.
It's not even like the quality of game or the difference of game, because you wouldn't know. They're very different games, but it's like they need almost like, I don't want to say a hitman, because that is really
that's
bad.
A bit much now. Bad. Bloody hell!
Okay,
like.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't think Blizzard needs a fucking hitman. Like, they should be clear. I think that would be a little bit extreme from where I'm sitting. At least that might be somewhat extreme. I do think Blizzard needs a couple of things to fix the game, but a hitman might be a little bit much.
Strike Force.
Yeah, Strike.
It's been no. I think he's one of the guys that works for Balila. I'm not entirely sure if he. Andy, how you doing? By the way, it's not that they like he's clearly just a proper nerd, proper like not public speaker, but he's interesting. So I've watched almost every single live stream that Balila's put out, and he's a very interesting guy. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Strike Force.
They need a Strike Force that comes in and goes, right, here's everything that's wrong.
Yeah.
Here's the solutions, or here's the path of solutions, and then just get at the whips and start cracking them everywhere.
Like, well, my personal opinion there is I think a lot of them actually wish they could do that, but yeah. I think that what's happened is they've created this big engine, the upkeep of which is such that they have so little extra time to, it's like they're so stuck in tactics and implementation that they just don't have enough time for strategy. And
Yeah, but to be honest there, what Balil is saying, 100% agree with him. But to be honest there, that again is Blizzard's fault, right? if Blizzard didn't design their system so fucking intricately and so difficult to integrate into the game, they wouldn't need that many planning meetings just to get these systems off the ground. Some of the best games I've ever played is short, sweet, and simple. Greyway, how you doing? I have arrived for a lock. Please talk nerdy to me, Akalon. Arian, I will do my fucking best. I will absolutely do my best. I mean, they do put the fear of God and the FBI in you during training. Really? Vapor and a WoW lover, I'm following. Greyway, I'm happy to have you here. Very happy to have you here. We're literally just watching a video that I wanted to watch before the stream, but I didn't have time, so I'm watching it now. And sort of just partaking in the conversation as much as one can. Insert yourself into a conversation between two other people. I do think Blizzard needs to go back to the keep it simple, right? Just keep it fucking simple. Go back to the KISS formula, keep it simple, stupid, and try to develop from there.
That's why, they're just kind of just overall direction wise seemingly listless and confused with no idea what the player experience is for anybody other than a gladiator PvP player, a competitive Mythic Plus player, and a Mythic Raider.
Well, that is I'll try not to harp on about this for too long, but that
I would say actually not even those. The amount of high level PvP players that is seriously upset with how PvP is in World of Warcraft shows you that Blizzard doesn't even necessarily know what those players feel like, right? One thing I do agree with here is it is very clear that Blizzard does not know what the casual player's feelings are about World of Warcraft. The guy that literally just wants to log in, the guy or the girl wants to log in after a hard day, just want to play for a couple of hours, just want to have some fun with his friends, if he still has friends in the game. It's clear that those people are definitely missed from the conversations. So, yeah, right now it does feel as if Blizzard have sort of gotten out of touch with their player base, and I might be wrong. I might be completely fucking wrong on this. Maybe you guys have a different take on this, but from my point of view, it does feel as if Blizzard is out of touch with what the community wants. Class design also needs to go back to simpler times, in my opinion, but that's just me. Systems upon systems aren't fun. Chris Krukra, I do agree with you, and there is a couple of things that I will say after this video that I sort of think needs to be taken into account. Bella, how you doing? No, not much. We're just watching this video from Balila.
That is exactly why they need their version of UCP, because he wasn't involved in that project at all, like in 1.0 or anything.
Oh yeah,
it was literally he was an avid MMO player to the point where in his previous job before Square Enix, he did such a good job he was allowed to bring his own PC into work and play MMOs while he worked. So he'd wait in camp rare spawns in like, this is like late 90s, so that kind of design. So he'd be sitting there just like working away. He would spot a rare spawn out of the corner of his eye, move over to his PC, and then play for 10 minutes, get back to work. He was just his life was he worked in games and then played MMOs. So he looked at 1.0, went, this is going to kill the Final Fantasy brand, and this is going to take Square Enix's name through the mud. And he whatever influence he had and how persistent he was talking to the upper management at the time, he basically said, this is a company-wide emergency. You guys don't know it yet, but this is literally going to be a massive problem that will ruin this company, and we need to fix it. And then they were like, fucking go for it.
Imagine having that much confidence. Like, just very quickly, imagine having that much confidence to walk into the boss's office and telling him, listen, mate, this will destroy your fucking game. 100%. I mean, the level of confidence that would take to just know you know better.
see what you can do.
Eric Shabir said, can we not advocate for killing people? We're not advocating for killing people.
I'm not sure the players know what they want. On the one hand, they complain about having nothing to do. On the other hand, they want anima faster, so they have even less to do. Frogcast, the problem with that analogy is that it is a problem that exists within the problematic structure that is World of Warcraft at the moment, right? So the reason people are complaining that they don't have enough anima is because the current system within World of Warcraft really restricts what you can do in WoW. Like, let's just quickly think about what is there really to do in World of Warcraft. Can anyone list the things that can be done in World of Warcraft right now? Like the things that you can do to keep yourself busy with. And I'll gladly wait. Okay, old content doesn't count because that's true for any game, right? Any game you can farm old content. All right, so based on my opinion, here is what you can do. I see a lot of people sort of listing Mythic Plus, Raid, PvP, collect items, Mog. So collection includes items, Mogs, and as far as I'm concerned, everything that you can collect, right? So those things are not separate things. Collectors tend to be collectors of everything, right? So very rarely do I meet someone that collects only mounts or only pets or only this. Vast majority of the time, if someone is a collector, they are a collector of just about everything in the game. But from a purely gameplay perspective, so if you want to play the game and you want to have fun in the game, there is, as far as I can tell right now, you have PvP, so you can go do the dungeons and the battlegrounds. There's no real player-created PvP because, well, PvP is dead, right? Not only because Blizzard never really thought that it was an important element of their game, but also because the servers just do not work whenever people try to actually play the game and have some world PvP. There also doesn't appear to be zones built in such a way that would enable something like world PvP. And so, again, you don't have world PvP, right? You have the battlegrounds and you have the arenas. That's what you can do to have fun. Then you have PvE. So you have dungeons and you have raids that you can do. And that's really where that ends, right? And then you have the sort of collector stuff. But now what happens to a casual player that really just wants to play the game, do a couple of dungeons sometimes, maybe do a normal raid once in a while, and then for the rest of the time wants to raid capital cities or wants to go kill a world boss or wants to do this or that or the other. Those things don't exist. And when I say that, or the other, the reason I'm saying that is because I don't know what those things could be. In the past, in sort of World of Warcraft Classic, players came up with sort of their own things to have fun with. So a good example of this, the best example of this, would be South Shore, right? This wasn't something that was invented by Blizzard. This was something that the players themselves decided, hey, we want somewhere where we can fight each other, and we're just going to take this zone that's absolutely perfect and turn this into a battleground. In TBC, you had, and I remember doing this in TBC quite a lot, you had those 3 towers in Hellfire Peninsula, or the 3 points that you would have to capture in Hellfire Peninsula, and that was insane, right, for us as players. Just going from one tower to the next, killing people, and just having so much fun that hours went by without you really realizing that you were spending this many hours just killing people and trying to capture all of these points for no reason whatsoever, because those points didn't really once you're done leveling, really, those points didn't do much, but it was fun. Then you had in Nagrand, you had the city. Yes, again, the city that eventually turned into one hell of a fucking battleground because people were farming emblems, right? These things were world events that players turned into fun things to do. They were world events. Well, the world buff, Andy, only really made sense toward raid time. We were doing this shit 11 o'clock in the morning, right? So no one's really raiding then. It's on Europe. It's quiet. Most raids happen in the evenings. We were still killing each other for the fucking control points. 11 o'clock in the morning. So at the end of the day, the point for me as a gamer, as someone who plays video games, what I want from a video game is for that video game to give me a bunch of stuff that's fun, and then for me to create my own fun within that bubble. But the game has to give you the tools in order to create that fun. Whereas right now, World of Warcraft seems to be the kind of game that they tell you how you should be having the fun, and then you go have the fun the way that they tell you to have the fun, right? And right now, the way Blizzard wants you to have fun is by collecting anima. So then if the fun doesn't come quick enough, players ask for more fun more quickly, because that's really the only thing they have going for it. The Covenant system has turned into a completely useless system that only restricts now that the story is done. Now that you've finished the Covenant campaign, there's no reason to be in any of these Covenants. Literally none. Outside of a cosmetic reason. But again, the Covenants serve no purpose other than restricting players to where they can have fun. That's it.
No.
That is well, I don't know what the correct word for like the English of that is, but you know, it's like hiring in like a fixer, like you know, a strike force, a task force, that kind of thing. You know, like a sort of internal strike force to tackle a certain problem in the way that it was like Final Fantasy 14 version 1.
Kashipop 100% agree with you. EU, the towers were always dead except when leveling. Maybe it is more server related. It could be, but Doctrine, that's the whole point, right? Back in the day, you did actually have server metas. I remember some people going to certain servers because city raids was a massive thing on those servers, whereas other things would be a massive thing on this server. When last have you ever heard someone going, yeah, my server is famous for doing X, Y, or Z? Everyone's server is famous for doing the exact same fucking thing because there's no real maneuverability. There's no real movement within the system to really enable doing anything other than whatever Blizzard deems the fun thing is to do.
Was a big problem. So Yoshi P was like the friggin' hitman, the dude sent in to be like, right boys, let's do this.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Just very quickly, Arkil, the reason Torghast could never be fun for a very long time is because Blizzard, as I said right at the start of the expansion, the biggest mistake Blizzard made with Torghast is tie it to player power. The second they tied it to player power, there had to be a reasonable expectation that every player could do the highest level of Torghast. Why? Because every player needs to have access to the Soul Ash that increases their player power, which limits the ability for you to actually just design a fucking fun feature. Whereas if you didn't have that, if Blizzard didn't tie Soul Ash to Torghast, they could make it ridiculously hard, virtually endless, and people would just keep going because it's fun to do. Left it the way it was in Alpha. Natalie Frost, I agree with that. Because in Alpha, it was actually fun. Yes, it got absolutely ridiculous. And yes, people could spend 9-10 hours in there trying to run Torghast. But if it's not tied to player power, then it doesn't matter. Then it just doesn't fucking matter. And if you really want the system to have some kind of relevance, then you add a scoreboard. I still like Torghast as well, right? And I just want to point that out. I love Torghast, but I want more from Torghast. But I do like Torghast. I think Torghast is an amazing system. It's something that I really enjoy as someone who plays super casually because I only play for the lore. It's that thing that I can do that gives me a little bit more from the game. WoW Professions is another thing, Caldana, that if we start diving into that, that's going to be another hour of discussion. There used to be a time where WoW Professions really fucking mattered, and they were actually kind of hard sometimes to do. I remember having to look for mages to make Mooncloth and Shadowcloth, and those mages charging an absolute fortune for the Mooncloth and the Shadowcloth just to make a certain item, right? And that was really fucking cool because you made friends with some of the mages on your server. Those mages would need to, like, you would sometimes have to farm mats for them in order to have them spend their, I think it was Mooncloth and Shadowcloth that had like a weekly lockout, right? Where you sort of didn't have, like, they didn't have, there was a very clear shortage of supply within Shadowcloth and Mooncloth, and that meant that people were really fighting over that spot, right? And that, I think, is, I miss the stat bonus. I miss everything from Professions because they actually made the game more fun. I miss the stat bonuses. Yes, absolutely. I even miss the sort of actives that some of the Professions, for example, Herbalism, used to have an active that would increase your haste, right? And it was on a 2-minute cooldown. So what happened there is you would sometimes have to swap professions because some professions just got more powerful thanks to whatever state the game was in, which made professions feel like it was part of the game. Whereas now, outside of the people who play the auction house, how many people really give a fuck about professions? Like, genuine question. How many people really have to give a shit about professions outside of the auction house and making money? They're not needed. So why do they still exist? If you're going to make a thing in a game that isn't going to be required for anything other than the people that want to make gold on the auction house, then it should not exist in your game. Remove it then. Literally, remove that fucking feature then and start working on something new. Because clearly, you've given up on the feature as having any sort of tie-in to the game. So then just stop making it, right? That's literally it. Stop making it. Zalkamar and Knight, I agree with you. There are still, like, basically just alchemy and engineering that still has some kind of playability within the game. For engineering, that's literally baked into the purpose, right? So you can't really get around that. Engineering is built to be a sort of useful profession, whereas every other profession makes gear that isn't even the highest level gear that you can get in the game, which by design makes it completely and utterly useless, right? By design, unless your professions can make the highest possible gear in the game, they will become useless. So then you either have to find different fixes for it, or you have to change fundamentally the way you view gearing in your game. I have said this before, and I will keep saying it. World of Warcraft should move to a profession-based gearing system, where every massive piece of gear in the game is made by professions. The way you get the recipes and the mats in order to craft those gear pieces, that comes from bosses. So you have to raid in order to collect the mats that you require in order to craft the gear that you need. But that would make professions last longer, mean more, and people will actually take professions seriously again. Outside of that, I genuinely don't see. And like I said before, what you could have in this regard is you could have it to such an extent where sometimes a player gets really lucky and the full piece of gear drops from the boss, and they sort of skip the whole fucking issue, right? They don't have to craft it, they got the whole thing. But for the most part, people get the mats, and the mats is used to craft the gear, and crafters is required to do that.
As far as I'm aware, he didn't kill anyone or anything like that extent.
No, but I mean, we do have to deal with the old salaryman work-life balance. So
he might have hurt a lot of feelings with his 10,000 long list of items. That was like individual problems with the user experience of FF14 1.0. But yeah, it's more. It's not that anyone in Blizzard's a problem there. It's that they need the institutional will and desire to not reinvent the game per se, but actually identify internal problems that's causing these outward problems and solve them.
Well, that's what saved Diablo 3.
Yeah.
What you call him, Josh?
Why do you require 6 blacksmiths, Saven? Why would you ever require 6 blacksmiths? I mean, it is, yeah, but why would you require 6 blacksmiths? One blacksmith would be able to make the gear that you need. So if you're a blacksmith and you require plate gear, you'd be able to make the gear that you need, right? And also, it is, as always, and I do need to point this out, it is, as always, an MMO. And this is something that people need to, I think, get back to. This is an MMO. As an MMO. No, it should not be bind on pickup. That's not what I'm saying. It should be tradable, Seven Raven. So you should be able to take your mats to any blacksmith and ask them to make your piece of gear. And they make it and they give it to you, and now you have your amazing piece of gear, right? But yeah, the MMO should be embraced in this regard, where people should start working together. Yeah, you should get the recipes from the boss, right? So this is my perfect sort of profession system. Bosses do not drop gear outside of very, very special roles. So if you really got lucky, the boss might drop a full piece of gear for you. However, for the most part, the boss drops the recipes that you require in order to craft gear, and the boss drops the mats in order to craft gear. So you never feel as if you've killed a boss for no reason whatsoever, because you are getting mats from this boss. And eventually, those mats will turn into the piece that you've been looking for, the piece that sort of completes your class. Every piece of gear in the game is made by crafters. They're the people who craft the gear, and that makes crafters always necessary in the game. It keeps it up to date. It makes it so that everyone wants to be a crafter and everyone wants to take that part of the MMO seriously. And it also makes it so that raids have a purpose beyond just kill boss, leave.
I was mispronounced his surname.
Yes, I can't remember.
But from what I understand, he was...
Yeah.
I think he was somebody... Was he within Blizzard? Whatever it was, he was super passionate about the problem of fixing Diablo 3, and it seems like he was actually given quite a bit of latitude to work on that problem, and they were able to get the team together and make Reaper of Souls really, really improve.
Yeah, which reinvented Diablo as it was known, basically.
Somebody said Gordon Ramsay restaurant show. Yeah. Let's get Gordon Ramsay into Team 2.
Yeah, why not?
We need Hell's
Why
Studio.
fucking not? Let's have Gordon Ramsay fix Blizzard.
It's just that sort of thing. I mean, there are things to talk about, like, you know, about the private class feedback forum debacle. And let's just say some community members being basically treated with disdain by people in Team 2.
Yeah.
That is something that, you know, in certain spaces of the WoW community, it's not exactly super public, and I actually don't really know the details other than there was some sort of big drama and it was all just kind of hushed away.
Wait,
but
well, I didn't...
you do worry. It's like, somebody said Gordon Ramsay restaurant show.
I didn't hear this.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Let's get Gordon Ramsay
enough, you
into Team 2.
Fucking donkey.
We need Hell's Studio.
Yeah, and it's...
I know.
it's just that sort of thing. I mean... There are things to talk about, like, you know, about the private class feedback forum debacle. And let's just say some community members being basically treated with disdain by...
All right. Do you guys know what he's talking about there? The private class forums? This was a big story last year. Like, yeah, last year, this actually came out. How many people followed that? I literally can't help but hear Gordon Ramsay yelling at people and calling them fucking donkey and moronic. Just give me the old ones back. All right, so the whole point of the private class forums was there used to be, and this existed for quite a while, there used to be private forums where sort of your, let's call it the cream of the crop players, so your hardcore theory crafters, your all of the guys that's behind your Discords, by the way. So if you go to any of the Discords for any class right now, those people, so the people that understand World of Warcraft from the mathematical perspective of how classes function, those people used to have a private forum where they could talk directly to Blizzard developers, right? So whenever a new expansion came out or a new patch was released, those people would have a private way of telling Blizzard, this is going to work, this isn't going to work, this is bad, this is bad, you need to fix this, this is underpowered, this is overpowered. So Blizzard was sort of always working with these private theory crafters to fix the game, so to speak. Then last year it came out that a number of these private contributors to Blizzard have actually left these servers because it became very clear that Blizzard doesn't listen to them, right? There was actually a massive story that hit where one of these people were saying they were actually made fun of and talked down to by Blizzard developers, World of Warcraft developers, whenever they brought up this doesn't work or this is bad or you should fix this. They were basically told, no, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This made massive fucking news last year when this came out, and you sort of learned that the theory crafting community is no longer working with Blizzard Entertainment because Blizzard Entertainment doesn't want to listen to them. Blizzard sort of have their own ideas about how classes should work. They have their own ideas about how balancing should work, and they're not going to take advice from the people who physically basically do that for a living, right? They just crunch the numbers. So yeah, that's sort of something that came out last year. That was sort of big news for a short while, and then I think one of the bigger controversies around Blizzard sort of took over, and that became the big story.
People in Team 2.
Yeah.
That is something that, you know, in certain spaces of the WoW community, it's not exactly super public, and I actually don't really know the details other than there was some sort of big drama and it was all just kind of hushed away. But you do worry. It's like if players have had consistent feedback and it's consistently being ignored, is it getting to the stage of just contempt? Like, how can you...
And this is actually another point that I just quickly wanted to make. The whole debacle around the BFA beta forums being deleted, right? So for those of you that don't know, this was a thing. Everyone made posts and forum posts on the Battle for Azeroth beta sort of servers or beta forums, calling out the issues, saying that Azerite gear doesn't work, saying that this doesn't work, saying that that doesn't work. And when BFA launched, Blizzard quietly deleted all of the beta forums. They literally just removed them. So as if to say, no, you guys never mentioned any of this shit. You guys never mentioned any problems because the forums was no longer there. So people couldn't go, wait, but we said this in sort of the BTR already and the beta and the alpha. We already said these things aren't working. So Blizzard just deleted those, got rid of it.
Willfully ignore that for sort of so long. I mean, it's kind of weird because Shadowlands did try to, you know, that's what made us so happy. It's like that BlizzCon was basically going to be like, all of those things we did, we don't want to do anymore. But then they kind of...
I got into
they tried that, but they still walked into so many of the same
they
problems.
They fell back into some old habits.
I guess
probably
so, yeah.
how it like would feel to them watching it happen. They're like, we didn't want this to happen. How did it happen again? And I guess it's at what point will there be the will to change that?
Yeah,
to actually solve those problems at their deepest root, as opposed to trying to work around them at the symptom end.
I mean, Spot the Spy here did say 1.0 was too complex. Yoshi P copied WoW to fix it. I have no idea because I've not played either of those games really, but do you have any comment on that?
I never played 1.0 too much. I did log in, I did play a little bit, and it felt awful in so many ways. So I could see there's...
Interesting.
Considering Yoshi was absolutely, like, basically the biggest MMO fiend there could be, that could still hold down the job. Like, almost certainly stole a lot of stuff from it.
I believe, did Yoshi not talk at some stage about, like, oh, it'd be cool to work in WoW?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I can't remember.
So
when
actually, we
that was.
don't even need...
Zakamara could be for a number of reasons. Anyways, the rest of this, I don't know what they're going to say in the rest of this, but I sort of got the gist of what I wanted to hear. So, personally, I think Innocence Lost. Thank you very much for the follow. Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. So, I don't know if it was because they didn't care or because they wanted to deny it. I just know that shortly after that, there was sort of one of those, I don't know if you guys remember, but early in BFA, we used to get these sort of developer interviews where players would ask questions and then Ian and Josh would sort of answer these questions. And in that, Josh actually said, if you guys want to give us your opinions and you want to make suggestions, then you have to have constructive criticism, not just say that stuff is bad. And that's where players lost their minds, right? That was the moment where players lost their minds and they sort of went, but we fucking did. And you just deleted it. We did. We told you. We gave you the constructive criticism and you just deleted it as if it never existed at all. So there is that sort of thing, right? That needs to be taken into account as well. So it is sort of a bad thing, but like I said, I do sometimes wonder, before this video even, when we first spoke about this, I do sometimes wonder if, how much of this is down to pride, right? How much of this is just down to Blizzard being so far down this road that if they were to reverse, if they were to turn around, they would have to admit that they were wrong all along and the players were right. And they're just not willing to admit that. Like, for example, with Titan Forging, War Forging. Like with the whole, you think you do, but you don't. Right? And then that is one of the most perfect moments ever. Because literally, he says, you think you do, but you don't. And then he names every reason why people wanted Classic. He names every reason why people wanted Classic. And then says, yeah, you don't want that, do you? And Classic players are going, yeah, that's exactly what I want, please. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yuku, thank you for seeing what's up. Really fucking appreciate that. 29 months in a row. Thank you. Activision will never allow Blizz to admit they made a huge mistake. I don't know if it's Activision, though, in a sense. There is a point where we have to stop blaming Activision for this and say, this might just be Blizzard. Activision just wants Blizzard to make money, right? I don't think they give too much of a fuck about the inner workings, so to speak. I genuinely think it's more just a case of this might just be Blizzard and this is what Blizzard does. A Tiger, you may ask now, yeah. That shows the mentality of the company above all. In the end, the players had the you thought we didn't, but we did moment. True. But now, how do you fix that? How do you fix that mentality once it's taken root? Akko, in the center of the Cosmos map, there are 4 domination runes, and also around, only around Arcane, there are big runes and too many small runes. Why? Does domination magic is a shape of arcane magic, or arcane magic also chained with runes like death? A Tiger, I've discussed this in many videos and many live streams already. We've spoken about those runes in so many videos. The runes that's literally around Azeroth. It would be a long discussion to have to go back into it, but the short answer is, Sylvanas did say, this world is a prison, and she meant it. The world itself is imprisoned within domination runes. Now, not all runes is domination magic, but all domination magic is runic magic, right? So you do get arcane runes as well. Mages use those runes. There's mage spells that have those runes around it. So those runes definitely do exist, and they could just be arcane runes, or in the case of, or in the spirit of shall we say, domination magic, one could make the argument that Arcane is the birthplace of domination magic, right? Which would give even further credence to my idea that World of Warcraft, or that all Titans and Eternal Ones come from the Arcane, come from Order. Anyways, guys, I'm quickly going to go grab some water, have a bit of a stretch, and then when we get back, we're going to be talking about some spoilers. Because, yes, there is some spoilers. I'm going to be telling you why the light attacked Revendreth, because we now know. And we're going to be talking about the Nathrezim and how exactly they were born, because, again, we now know. And then after that, we're probably going to be talking about Thrall, because there's some spoilers about him as well. But I want to go grab some water. I'll be back in a sec. All right. Oh, the kiss battling on his forehead. I don't know why. Kildana, that's a bit weird. Hey, so no one wants to speak about the overwhelming evidence that Azeroth is... Yeah. All right. This, I believe, comes from 9.1 as well. Apocalypse shared this with me. Very angry about what he read. But it is something that I think is worth talking about. Because this is spoilers, by the way. If you do not want spoilers, then please click off now. Because this is going to be spoilery. Tiger, just give me a moment. Let me just get through this, and then you can ask whatever you want, and I'm definitely I'll be happy to answer. All right, so we have this. Prince Renethal says, countless ages ago, just after the first Venthyr was sired, Denathrius unveiled another creation, the Nathrezim. Forged to be the ultimate infiltrators, they bore the influence of death into the realms of our rivals, as well as the worlds of the living. Despite their subtlety, one of these incursions was discovered. In response, the full wrath of the light fell upon Revendreth, setting ablaze the ward once held by the Nathrezim. This is huge, right? Now, we've always known that it was Sire Denathrius that made the Nathrezim. This is sort of, well, I say no, we had very strong guesses around this. Of course, the very reason for their development, that was sort of guessed upon, right? And enemy infiltration obviously pointed out a lot in terms of how exactly they infiltrated all of these different zones. But this is Very interesting, right? Because we know that the light claimed the reason they attacked Revendreth was because of some sort of slight against the light. We now learn that this was most likely because of Lord Thraxian. Do you guys remember Lord Thraxian? Please tell me you guys remember who the fuck Lord Thraxian is. Lord Thraxian is the light Nathrazim, right? He is the guy that is working with the light Dreadlord, yes. The full light, wrath of the light fell upon Revendreth. The armies, now here's where things for me get very, very interesting. The armies of Maldraxxus did not rise up to defend us, so the Stone Right carved her Stone Legion to strike back against the light. This is where things get really interesting for me. This is sort of the first lie in the big scheme of lies that is the Shadowlands. Maldraxxus literally exists to defend the Shadowlands. That is its literal definition. It's the literal reason Maldraxxus was created in the first place, was to be the defenders of the Shadowlands. And yet, when the light led their incursion into Revendreth, Maldraxxus did not rise up to defend them, and it was the Stone Right that had to carve her Stone Legion in order to get the light back. Once the Naru were routed, the Stone Right turned her anger upon the Nathrazim, blaming them for the loss of so many of her children. The conflict was ended by Denathrius, who said he would exile them to a world beyond the Shadowlands. Denathrius never told me what became of the Nathrazim. Only later did I learn that mortal souls had come to know them by another name, the Dreadlords. Now, of course, this is where I think speculation juices sort of start taking over. Now, I do want to make clear that Apocalypse is very unhappy about this because he does view this as a retcon, whereas I do not. I do not think that this is a retcon. I genuinely believe that this could point to two different things, right? So it could be that for a while, or for a rather long time, Denathrius wasn't working with Zuval, right? So Denathrius was in fact, because basically the retcon that exists here is we had Dreadlords, actual Nathrazim, working against Ner'zhul and Arthas, right? So we know that they were working against Ner'zhul, they were working against Arthas, and therefore by proxy, they would have been the ones who worked against the Jailer. But of course, if Denathrius is in league with the Jailer, then why would they be working against the Jailer? Well, this could signal that Denathrius wasn't always in service of the Jailer, and that for a time he did actually oppose the Jailer, and then later only decided to join the fold. Or it could be that not all of the Nathrazim followed in Denathrius' footsteps. Not all of the Nathrazim served Denathrius. Some of them sort of moved on to other things, and they started working for whoever was the highest bidder at the time. And we've said this before, even before we knew anything about the Nathrazim. One of my biggest sort of things about the Nathrazim is that they do not seem to pledge loyalty to anyone. They seem to do whatever is good for them at the time. Now, there is something very interesting about the light here, however, that I want to point out. The light discovers Lothraxian has invaded them, right? Discovers that Lothraxian have sort of invaded their armies, and instead of exiling him or killing him, the light subdues him. They turn him into their own soldier. That sort of just goes to show the, I guess you could say, the maliciousness or the benevolence, depending on how you want to look at it, of the light and how the light functions. They will force their will onto everyone, even those that have betrayed them or sort of worked against them. The light attacking, the fact that the stone rite could actually stave them off, that is rather interesting to me, and something that I think speaks to the power of the light in a way. Speak to the power of the light. But we never objectively knew that was true. To be honest, their nature is so deceitful that they may not even be loyal to Denathrius. Frogcast, if the Whispers is to be believed, then the Cunning Ones kneel before 6 masters, but serve only 1. So they do actually serve Denathrius, and we know that now that Denathrius have been captured, the Nathrazim have actually risen up to come save him, right? They are actually trying to save him. Now, with all of that said, to my mind, this is not a retcon. I don't view it the same as Apocalypse. Rather, I view it as an explanation, right? And myself and Apocalypse will have this discussion on podcast next week, where we will talk and we will see. But I view this more as an explanation. I view this as an insight into what happened and how it actually happened. So how did Sargeras get the helm and the sword? We now know it was handed to him. The Nathrazim didn't steal the sword and the helm. They were tasked with taking that sword and that helm to Sargeras. So the jailer's been planning all of this at least since the creation of the Lich King, the very first one, Ner'zhul. He's been planning this entire thing. He's had this thing sort of in the back of his mind this whole time. This is what he wanted to do. Now, bigger questions arise. Did Sargeras know? Or did the Nathrazim play a very, very, very intelligent trick on him? So my mind is that the Nathrazim played a trick on him. The Nathrazim were very intelligent in this. They knew that the Titans are extremely one-track minded. They understood, right, that the Titans clearly wouldn't think past their own nose. So what did they do? Rather than taking Sargeras' gaze and turning it to a real threat, a threat that would perhaps have bothered Sargeras, they turned Sargeras' eyes, his gaze, to the one thing that would only have a single solution: the Void. They tell him that the Void is the biggest threat in all of the universe, that the old gods are there. Now, I want to make sure everyone understands this. In a sense, I just want to say thank you so much for the Prime sub, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to the Fat Fuckers Club. I want to make sure everyone understands this. The only reference that we have to the ultimate goals of the Void Lords and the old gods by proxy is from what was allegedly said to Sargeras. That's the only evidence we have. So, did the Nathrazim lie to Sargeras? Almost guaranteed. They told him about the Void and their sort of nefarious plan for the universe. And Sargeras' only real solution to this was to end all life in the universe. Now, who would have benefited from such a solution? Who would have claimed or reaped the rewards of a solution that involves the literal destruction of all life in the universe? The jailer. So even if his original plan doesn't work, he still has backup plans, right? Because the backup plan is he just keeps feeding life into the universe and eventually, or into the Shadowlands, and eventually when he does break free, he will use all of that life to control the universe and take over. So the Nathrezim play the perfect trick. They then hand him the sword and the helm as tools for his complicitness in this entire plan. This will help him ultimately destroy and take over Azeroth. Now, here's where things actually get a little bit interesting to me. Sargeras clearly figured out something. I don't want to say he figured out their entire plan, but Sargeras did not allow Ner'zhul a body. Instead, Ner'zhul would have the helm and the sword, but he would not be able to wield the sword. He would not be able to really achieve optimal power levels. This Sargeras stops. Sargeras makes sure that this doesn't happen. And so Ner'zhul has to take another approach. Now, it would not surprise me if we learn in the future that the Nathrezim did this on purpose. Because we're told that the Nathrezim, Ner'zhul had to sort of do everything in his power to not let the Nathrezim realize what he was ultimately up to. But if you think about Mal'Ganis was the very reason Arthas was drawn to Northrend in the first place. If not for Mal'Ganis, Arthas would have never made his way to Northrend. The jailer would have never had his champion. You see, I believe that the Dreadlords played this perfectly. They looked as if they were the ones keeping an eye on things, and they looked as if, remember, they are meant to be forged to be the ultimate infiltrators. So none of their actions can ever be trusted. Nothing they tell you can ever be trusted. In fact, I would not be surprised if Lothraxion himself doesn't work with the light. I would not be surprised if Lothraxion himself has donned the light as a way to disguise his infiltration. And that the light still has no idea that they have actually been controlled, and that they have been infiltrated, and that they are being spied on. The same could be said with Veramathras and Sylvanas. Yes, Veramathras played the part that was necessary at the time, whilst ensuring that everything plays out exactly the way that it should play out, ensuring that ultimately the goals of the jailer is realized. So in this regard, Denathrius has always been working with Zuvul. He's always been serving Zuvul in one form or another. It does, however, point to Zuvul being incredibly intelligent, understanding how to knock over one domino and then watch as the effect simply flows. So he's able to spot the pattern within the universe to almost the exact degree. How much does he need to nudge here? How much is required there? Just a little bit here, a little bit less there. And slowly but surely, all the dominoes fall so that he can become the master of the universe, or whatever it is that his plans are. To me, this is rather huge. I don't know about you guys, and I see chat is still having an argument, and Apocalypse is sort of taking over with Parascopic trying to have their own argument. But to the rest of chat that isn't involved in that argument, I would love to know, what are you guys, what are your thoughts about this? Do you find this as interesting and as big as I do? Or do you think, come on, this is boring, who gives a shit? And we'll go back to just chatting windows so that those who do not want to see spoilers don't have to see spoilers. Same could be said about Sylvanas and Veramathras. So then would it be safe to assume he will see what Sylvanas' choice will be? Safe, yes, but maybe at the same time, Sylvanas has played this really well as well. So what's Denathrius' purpose after being free again? Don't know. Will he still serve Zuval, or will he now take matters into his own hands? We don't know. It is a massive lore revelation. I agree. Slavican, I'm hyped. Me too. I don't see this as a retcon, Apocalypse. Like I said, we'll discuss this on Monday, but I do not view it as that big of a retcon. The information on Lothraxion was always sketchy at best. So this sort of rewriting Lothraxion's sort of history and story, to me, isn't the biggest issue. Do you think Mal'Ganis and Icegron saying he wants to take revenge on Arthas is retcon? Just really not necessarily, because again, remember, it all comes down to whatever their push was at the time, right? It could be that they applied as much pressure on Arthas as humanly possible to ensure that he would be the leader and that he would be the leader that Zuval was looking for, right? Because it could just be tests. We appear to be tested right now by Zuval consistently, so it does appear as if Zuval enjoys the testing. He definitely likes testing people. Apocalypse, how you doing, bro? I think it's a really cool revelation, but I agree with Apocalypse that it is a retcon, as Blizzard has already said that Denathrius was originally supposed to die off, but the fans liked him so much they keep him in the story. Yeah, but Apocalypse, even if Denathrius was meant to die off, it doesn't change how they were fixed. Realhead, how you doing, bro? He seems to be the one in charge. Well, he is sort of meant to be a master strategist, right? That is literally his role. It never made sense to me that he would willingly join the light, so this kind of makes me go, okay. Maybe Arthas wasn't fully under the Jailer's influence, would make sense that Mal'Ganis wants him dead. Well, we already know that Arthas wasn't fully, and that could actually be very good fucking point there, Crimson. Very good point. Remember, it was always sort of rumored that there was a small part of Arthas that didn't succumb to the Jailer. There was a small part of Arthas that kept the Jailer's forces, or the true power of the Forsaken, at bay. So it is entirely possible that the Jailer sent his servants, or Denathrius' servants by proxy, his servant, sent them to push him far enough so that he would completely open himself and the Jailer could take over, right? So that is entirely possible. All right, that being that, I'm going to upload that to Alex. Not Forsaken. Scourge, yeah. Sorry, Scourge. Sorry, I was literally busy naming the video and sending it to Alex, so I wasn't really thinking. It's about what I expected after enemy infiltration, personally. I like the idea of this conspiracy a lot. Maybe this will result in contradictions, but I actually don't see it as that big. The Nathrazim have always been secretive and have always had plans within plans. Frogcast, 100% agree. By the way, I checked on your Alpaca Echo podcast clip regarding the Zuval thing and the chest, the hole. What if Zuval is seeking isn't what's Arbiter having or is needed to have, but then also, what about the Odin's Eye? What if the chest in Zuval is actually the missing eye of Odin, or basically the third eye of the Jailer? And also what's possible to see with the Eye of Odin combined with the giant rune-powered telescope? Well, obviously you can see a hell of a lot with that fucking telescope. Plus, it's got domination runes on it. But I do wonder, based on the chains coming out of that, the telescope is most likely just for aiming the chains of domination, right? As for the rest of your point, Digit, you actually say a lot of things that Apocalypse sort of believes as well. Yeah, I don't really have much to add on it. I genuinely believe that the hole in his chest is the hole, is the orb that is inside the Arbiter's chest. That's my belief on it. Apocalypse has a different theory. which is just as plausible because all of this is speculation, right? Jamina Forsaken, it's a really good point. Arthas is from Azeroth, the ultimate wildcard affix. It's Big Tiger, how you doing, bro? But if the Nathra team are working for the Jada's plans, then he literally locked the door on himself by creating the Lich King in the first place. Why, Apocalypse? In what way would creating the Lich King lock the door for him? Because it literally says, he literally says to Bolvar, you were meant to be the herald of my coming. Now, I've said this before, the helm, just as its own creation, the helm itself could not open the way. The helm required to be powered up. That's why I believe he needed the Lich King there. After countless souls, the helm would be powerful enough to finally destroy the Veil. But that's the only way that it could have happened. The Veil first had to be destroyed in order for, or the helm first had to be powered up in order to be destroyed in order to open the Veil. Usurped the jailer until he discovered perhaps the extent of his power. I feel like we don't know yet, but there must be a reason the Dreadlord seemingly worked against the jailer. It's seemingly because they are literally said to be the ultimate infiltrators. They were forged to be the ultimate infiltrators. So the reason they are doing this and the reason they may have looked that way is because they had to look that way, right? Is Liching the jailer of the damned if he isn't guarding the door? Because the jailer of the damned was a name given by mortals to the Lich King. They believed that he was literally jailing the damned. He was literally the one keeping the damned at bay. But clearly we now know that none of that was true. I mean, all of that was retcon literally when Sylvanas broke the Veil. As far as I'm concerned, everything we knew about the Lich King was retcon the minute Sylvanas destroyed the Veil. But does the Veil need to be destroyed, given that Denathria's vanished denizens of the Shadowlands, a reality with the Veil holding? Karkle, we sort of already know that the Veil does not keep them out, right? The Veil would stop a full-fledged invasion, so you wouldn't have all of the Eternal Ones plus all of the armies of the Shadowlands being able to go through the Veil. But it is already clear that there are ways through the Veil. One piece of evidence for this is the Kyrian. The Kyrian seem to freely move in and out of the Veil as much as they want. So, yeah. Seemed that they did, as when it was shattered, the souls it took were set free. Massey, it doesn't necessarily require that the souls move to the helm. It requires power. So it could very easily be that by the Frostmourne gaining more power by absorbing more souls, it was automatically feeding that power into the helm because this was a set piece. These pieces were connected to one another, right? So don't forget that these pieces were created together. They're basically twins of each other. They basically share a function. In that, if one gets more powerful, it's completely reasonable to believe that the other one would gain some of that power. The power would sort of be split between them. Primus versus Evolve clip. Man, Primus is as big as Evolve himself. The Primus definitely ain't weak, but I found interesting in Primus' quote about the sigils, that the sigils can be reforged again. So, by the way, is it possible to have had different generations of the Primus? Digit possible, but highly unlikely. I do not share the view that there is different Eternal Ones, even though that is something that a lot of people believe. You guys toss around the word retcon a lot, but a true retcon is completely changing in fact, not adding a new angle or perspective, like the changes on Draenei was a straight up retcon from prior to TBC then after. But I don't think us not knowing that Arthas wasn't the jailer counts as retcon. Definitely Harmony, how you doing? That's not quite the point that they're making, but I do follow your point, and I do agree. Agree with the name Jailer of the Damned, though. Again, Jailer of the Damned is technically not wrong. He is jailing the damned of Azeroth. Technically, that isn't wrong. But still, we now know that he wasn't literally jailing the Shadowlands. He was gaining enough power to set it free. Valness, how you doing? Oh, I have no complaints. Okay, we're going over to Wowhead right now because there's another spoiler that I saw, or at least they warned about spoilers that I genuinely want to know about. So again, if you don't want spoilers, this is about Thrall and the story of Thrall in Chains of Domination. So if you don't want spoilers, now would be the time to click off. Okay. D. Walters, that's not quite the point. They would be like ghosts in our world. So that's not a lie from Blizzard. That is legitimately just how could they exist? So someone who has died and is now in the Shadowlands cannot exist into perpetuity in reality. They would be a ghost. They would literally not fit into reality. So yes, there are almost no races that I can see that will become playable races in the future. Not from the Shadowlands unless some massive retcon happens or a massive change happens. Doesn't have to be a retcon. It could just be that the Jailer succeeds and now the Shadowlands and reality becomes one. Right? And suddenly, yes, every being that existed in the Shadowlands can now also exist in reality. That would have sort of a massive effect on the rest of the story, of course. But the brokers seem to also be native to the Shadowlands in some way, so I don't think so. I don't think... Plus, the brokers doesn't appear to be playable really... open to being playable races, if that makes sense. Tatiana, how you doing? I think something like that will happen because after this expansion, it'll be weird to know what happens when you die. Like you mentioned, Bolvar is a light, life and death, and he is a perfect Lich King and anti-jailer. Tiger, I don't necessarily agree with that. Anti-jailer would be anti to the whole creation of the Lich King. The Lich King was literally created, if you follow the threads all the way back to its beginning. The Lich King was created by the Jailer to be the herald of his coming, therefore would not be anti-Jailer. So once you become the Lich King, and we already have evidence of this from the Four Horsemen short story, Bolvar was never powerful enough to defeat Sylvanas because he never accepted the true power of Zuval into him. He never truly gave over to the Helm, and therefore Bolvar would never have been the Lich King. He wasn't even technically the Lich King. Because again, in order to be the Lich King, one would have to become the Helm. You and the Helm would have to become one, right? While Walking Hell, how you doing, bro? Do you know if classic Helm of Domination for AQ20 somehow connects to actual Helm of Domination Lich King uses? Valnus, probably not. I think that was literally just a name, right? That was just... Remember, prior to... I always like to say prior to Legion, Blizzard didn't spend a whole lot of time on story development and thinking about the future of the story and how the story really plays out. So we had a lot of things happen in the past that wouldn't necessarily be lore, but Blizzard would just be okay with it, right? So Nathrezim Draco were ghosts then. The Nathrezim is a physical creation of the Shadowlands, right? They were never alive to begin with. They were created by one of the eternal ones of the Shadowlands, and therefore there is an argument to be made that they wouldn't be ghosts because they were physically created inside the Shadowlands. They didn't have life and then died, whereas every other being seemingly in the Shadowlands were alive at one point and then died, except for like the Stone Legion or some of the servants that we again don't have a lot of. So, for example, the small little things in Bastion, the small little owl people, they would probably not be ghosts if they were ever to come to Azeroth, because they do appear to have been created within the Shadowlands, right? They were never alive to begin with. They are all constructs. Ghost, if you didn't have a spirit soul to begin with. Did you see that there is a reunion? Wow, we're literally going to be talking about that now. I have it pulled up on my monitor. So we are going to be talking about that. Alright, so you guys, do you want to know about Thrall's reunion with Draka? Where he finally comes face to face with his mother. And hopefully there is something. I mean, just to be clear, I've not read this story yet, but they say story spoilers. Now, if this isn't a big spoiler, I'm going to be sort of pissed off. Because I do want a big spoiler. I don't want these average, mediocre spoilers. Alright, so the meetup between Draka and Thrall happens in Chapter 4 of the Chains of Domination questline, An Army of Bone and Steel. As the Death's Advance faction advances towards Desmoterian, Draka offers the services of the Necrolords to help secure the area and destroy Baron Virus, the traitorous Baron responsible for Margrave Crexus's in the Maldraxxus leveling storyline. I'm assuming Crexus' death in the Maldraxxus leveling once and for all. However, someone else wants to join us on the mission. Thrall. Finally, Thrall is, of course, not sitting on the steps of Erebos doing absolutely fuck all. He's now decided, hey, time for me to go do something. I'll join. Why not? Baroness Draka. Virus hides within Desmoterian. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. We will secure the area and summon the Zerkerus. Draka. Thrall says, Draka, player, I'd like to join you on your mission. Baroness Draka, you are the one they call Thrall. Yes, I have heard of you. Come then. Okay, who's this Thrall thing? I don't know who this fucker is. I'm just here to do my fucking job. Clearly not impressed that her own son is standing in front of her, but hey, let's just continue. After arriving at the gates of this Desmoterian, Draka and Thrall offers quests to help dismantle the area. Of course they do. Kill 10 of this, kill 5 of this, kill 15 of this, maybe collect some bear assholes or something, including killing an NPC that has Thrall's old axe, Dragora. The axe was presumed lost after Thrall threw it on Helia during the Maw introduction questline. During the quest, and of course, you all know what this is going to be, right? This is going to be one of those where you kill an obscene amount of them until one of them finally drops the fucking axe, because the axe wouldn't be visible on whichever NPC has it. No. One of them has it sort of in their pocket, right? But it's not even sticking out or anything. It's just in the pocket, sort of hidden away. And you're just going to have to keep killing until you find it. During the quest, Thrall and Draka, and for those of you that don't know why I'm being a little bit facetious here, I hate Blizzard's quest design. I absolutely despise it. These stories would be so much better if they just removed the whole questing thing from it, because the quests do not work the way they're supposed to work. I would prefer more storied quests and not the whole fucking kill 5 of this, 10 of this bullshit. And then Darktron Gaming, thank you so much for the sub, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the Fat Fuckers Club. Thank you. All right, Baroness Draka, I see you wear the armor of Ogrim Doomhammer. He left it to me as a gift, one of many he gave me. You were of the Frostwolf clan in life, were you not? I was. Their legacy will always be a part of mine. Dragora. It's good to have it in hand again. Draka. Draenor's honor. A fitting name for a worthy weapon. How does she not know that this Thrall is her fucking son? I realize she didn't live long, but she, as far as I know in the lore, she didn't give him the name. Right? So she should surely fucking know. Anyways, Once the mission escalates and the Zedekris is summoned to assault Desmotiren, Thrall attempts to tell Draka that he is her son, but Draka is more fixated on the mission at hand. Draka, there is something you need to know. I am. Focus on the mission. We will speak later. And if she fucking dies before he tells her that he is her son, I am gonna lose my shit. Like, I am going to be well pissed off if she dies before he can tell her. Once they arrive at the edge of Helgard Keep, Baron Virus is seen in a meeting with Helia. Virus is concerned over being outnumbered by the Maldraxi forces, now joined by the Primus, who has been previously rescued from his prison in Torghast. Helia empowers Virus, not before throwing a jab at the traitorous Baron. This is, however, not enough to save him from the wrath of Draka. Now, I do want to point out there's something very interesting. The Necrolords that sort of defected with Baron Virus, they're not very happy that they are in the Maw, by the way. They were promised that they were going to conquer, and they thought that they were going to conquer Maldraxxus. Instead, now they find themselves guarding Helia within the Maw, and they're really not happy about it. Blizzard makes it very clear as well. Every single guard pair you walk past have the same conversation. They hate this, right? Katiash, how you doing? All right, so Baron Virus. Our enemies approach, Helia. We need reinforcements, Helia. Scared? Maldraxi? The jailer does not tolerate weakness in his ranks. Virus, you will answer for what you did to Crexus. Take my boon, Virus. You are outnumbered after all. The Primus, strike, Matron of Wolves. Show them the heart of a Necrolord. For Crexus. For Akarek. Okay. No, I am stronger. I cannot lose. And then he dies. How predictable. Once Virus is defeated, the Primus returns everyone to Keeper's Respite, the staging area of Korthia. We do not see the rest of the interaction between Draka and Thrall, as they ask for a moment for themselves, but we do see Draka acknowledge Thrall by his real name. Thrall, Draka, Baroness Draka, well fought, Goel. Come, we will speak. So she did know all along that he was her son. Cold bitch. Cold fucking bitch. Little bit upset. And yeah, I actually, Yava, thank you very much. I did forget that his actual name is actually Goel and not Thrall. But I sort of remember that. I'm trying to remember the lore now. This is a long time ago that I covered this. I'm pretty sure. No, she wasn't. She wouldn't have been aware of him being called Thrall, because that was a name much later bestowed upon him. Well, he was named Goel, as far as I know. Being first fight, cuddle later. Well, yeah, clearly she is the kind of woman that gets to business quick, right? She doesn't want any sort of things to hold her back, so to speak. There's the Kalal at all. Well, we're not quite in the Superman universe. Right house, wrong street. No, Mop. We still don't quite know what that deal was, but I have a couple of theories about that. Now, what I will say about this is it's nice to finally see Thrall and Draka united. This is something that I've wanted for quite a while, ever since Warlords of Draenor. I don't know if you guys remember in Warlords of Draenor, but Thrall met with his father, but never actually told them that he was their son. This never really came up, unless I missed something in Warlords of Draenor, but I remember wanting him to actually confess that he was their son, but he seemed all throughout Warlords of Draenor to just keep that little nugget to himself. So I am glad that Thrall is sort of revealing it to her, and that they are actually going to be talking about whatever this is. Will this have any implications for the player? Maybe a really cool CGI cinematic, old soldier kind of vibe. I could definitely see that being a thing that happens between Thrall and Draka. It's clear that Blizzard wants to highlight Draka very much, but this could also be the beginnings of an end that I've sort of heard of and that has been sort of speculated on for quite a while. And for those of you that don't want to know what maybe leak, I'm saying maybe leak because I've heard from a couple of sources and they seem to agree, but none of this is set in stone. But I will say that there is leaks that show that Thrall will be dying in this expansion, that this will be the last time Thrall is part of the world of the living. Now, of course, he is still alive at this very moment in time, so if he dies here, then he will just be awakened within the Shadowlands. And this might be Blizzard's way of sort of hyping up Thrall, putting him in the spotlight, and then moving him, removing his story from the overall story of World of Warcraft. I personally would be in agreement that Thrall and Bane needs to go. The old Thrall, fucking loved him. New Thrall, not so much. He seems to be more pissy about the fact that he doesn't have his powers. Oh, you can't fucking, the spirits won't listen to me. Just focus harder, bro. That's all you need to do, right? Didn't know the name Goal until he met Drektar, the Orc Shaman from the old ways, and close to Durotan and Draka. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's only because, remember, he was sort of born and then very quickly no longer with his parents. But his name, so Draka would not have known the name Thrall. She would have known the name Goal, right? That would have been the name that this would not have been the name that she had given him, because the old shaman tells Thrall, you were actually called Goal, right? So Thrall didn't know this because he was obviously removed from his parents very early on, and then the name Thrall was simply given to him. But that's why I couldn't understand right at the beginning, but clearly it doesn't even matter because she always knew that he is her son. She just, at the time at least, didn't acknowledge it for whatever fucked up reason. For whatever reason, she decided, nah, screw it. Not gonna tell him I know you're my son. So yeah, that sort of sucks a little, but I'm glad that they know now. It's just a nice feeling. I just have a nice feeling about this. I like this. In all the death and carnage and fucked upness that sometimes happens, it's nice when it's just a nice thing, right? Son reunited with his mother, and you know, maybe she teaches him how to get him back in touch with these fucking, I don't know, elements or some shit. We don't know. We'll have to see, but this is nice. I like this. What do you guys think? Did this spoil anything for you, or did you enjoy the spoiler? Catty Ash, how you doing? And thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Now she changed classes. She's going to teach him a new class. Didn't pay attention at all. Of course you didn't, Andy. It's not a spoiler, but it is nice to see. Yeah, it definitely doesn't spoil things, although spoiler warning will need to be given, right? Because in this day and age, if you do not give a spoiler warning, you have so many people so fucking pissed off with you so very fucking quickly. You have no idea. All right, let's do this. There has never been a rule forbidding using shamanistic powers in a Makura. Gotta take out. Thanks for the stream, man. Apocalypse, thank you very much. Really appreciate that, dude. Take care of yourself. Wait, who said that he cheated and that's why he lost his powers? I love this awesome stuff, but give me cinematics. Let me get you and me both. I want the cinematics. Bala. What did Bala say? So, I just want to be very clear. You are very much allowed to use magic and shamanistic magic and all the rest of it in Makura. You are allowed to use those. The only thing you're not allowed to use is borrowed power. And that would mean power that isn't yours. So power that comes from another source. Natalie Frost, I don't care what he said. The rules of Mak'gora is very clear. Anyone can use any powers that is their own. You could argue that from a spiritual perspective, the spirits didn't view it that way. Now, this is where we would get into the discussion of what is modern day Mak'gora and what is traditional Mak'gora. And this could be where things change, because all the way back in the original sort of existences of Mak'gora, it would only be an orcish thing, right? So only the orcs would challenge one another to Mak'gora. And in those battles, using magic was completely forbidden because it was meant to be a test of strength, right? So your strength versus the other's strength. Modern day Mak'gora, however, have no such rules about use of magic or anything like that. This has been sort of changed quite considerably by Blizzard themselves. So the only rule in Mak'gora now is no borrowed power. So any power that isn't native to you. So if you're a mage, you can use mage powers, but you can't have your warlock friend sort of just fucking cast a spell on the side. Revenue, but Akalon in the movie, the orcs were mad that Gul'dan used magic at all. Okay, so first and foremost, Ravenshield, the movie. I mean, if we're going to start talking about all the lore things they got wrong in the movie, we're going to be here for a very long time. The movie was perhaps one of the worst editions of WoW lore in the history of WoW lore anything. Right? That movie got so many things wrong. For one, Stormwind is considered in the movie as being the capital of the Alliance, which is not true. Stormwind was a very, very small city compared to Lordaeron. Lordaeron was, in fact, the capital of the Alliance. So there's, I mean, we could go into so much more, but the movie is just miserable. The movie is really bad when it comes to the lore of World of Warcraft. So yeah, I wouldn't trust the movie in any way, shape, or form. I still love the movie. Don't get me wrong. I think the movie is fucking amazing. It's a cool movie. I liked it. But not from a lore perspective. As a lore player or as a lore lover, there were multiple times where I was going, oh no, the fuck is that? Where does that come from? So yeah, I would definitely say don't take that to heart. But I just explained to you why the elements, because remember, this is what shamanistic magic is, right? The elements answer to you. So you don't force the elements, you don't force your ancestors. They answer to you. And so it might be that the ancestors viewed Thrall's actions as not right. So Garrosh pleading to his dad, why did you leave me? I had no guidance, and Thrall just being like, you did wrong. Last Bender, because it finished as if it had part 2 and never did. But I mean, we kill enemies each day. Why would killing Garrosh with the element be different? Kush Fury, because of course that would be Mak'gora. Mak'gora is extremely sacred, right? Agreed. If you don't know anything about the lore, great movie. If you're a lore buff, it's cringe central. Yes. Cinemas, yes. If you know anything about the lore, there's so many moments where you go, oh no, this is not that. It's not how that happened. But still, fun movie all around. I've always had the ability to sort of turn off. So about halfway through that movie, I just turned off my lore knowledge. I literally just went, okay, no, I'm not going to fucking care about how bad this is fucking up the lore of World of Warcraft. I'm just going to enjoy the movie. And for that, it was a good movie. I watched it 3 times already. Yeah, I've watched the movie 3 times and I enjoyed it every single time. So I just think so we know that Thrall did use his magic again, just by the way. We saw Thrall use his elemental magic in Torghast to escape. He called on the elements to help him escape. So Thrall might not have full access to the elements just yet. But who knows? Maybe this expansion actually does lead to Thrall. The final moment. We're in the shit. We're about to lose. And then Thrall, sort of Anduin-esque kind of, even here, the ancestors answer my call. And then fucking calls down just all the thunder, right? Just all the thunder that comes down and decimates armies. And suddenly Thrall is back and no longer a little pussy. So that would be cool. All the balls on his necklace and explode. So what do you think about the Sepulchre? Initially, I thought it was a place that the jailer needed to get to before executing his plans. However, it seems like the jailer's plans are going to happen within the raid for this patch. Did he get there within the patch, or we haven't heard, you think, or is there more to it? So, Arthur, myself and Apocalypse, I just uploaded the video yesterday, where we were sort of talking about the end of the raid. So, the end of this raid, Chains of Domination, for those of you, once again, that don't want spoilers, click off now. But the end of this raid sort of reveals the Arbiter's Room, right? It seems like the Arbiter's Room is going to be one of the final places where the fight happens. I sort of speculate based on that, and I'm in full agreement with Wowhead here. The final part might be us witnessing the jailer killing the Arbiter. Now, there's been a number of videos that we've made where we've sort of spoken about the Sepulchre and what exactly the Sepulchre could be. Now, a Sepulchre is just a fancy name effectively for a crypt, right? For wherever something that dies lies. That's a Sepulchre. There's been people that speculated that the Sepulchre might be the jailer's, the Arbiter's room. So the very place where the Arbiter is, that is the Sepulchre. I, on the other hand, believe that the Sepulchre is the final prize and not whatever the jailer is going to be doing in this patch. So I do believe that the jailer is going to kill the Arbiter. I think we will see the jailer remove the orb from the Arbiter and place it in his own chest, thereby making him the de facto leader of the Shadowlands, because it does appear as if whoever holds that orb sort of controls much of the Shadowlands, at least the flow of souls and where souls go. So that would give the jailer back that power, which I believe was his to begin with. And then he is going to the Sepulchre to unlock whatever lies within it. I'll go now. I have to go to the bathroom soon anyway, so I'll go straight in a minute. Will Thrall's power increase when he dies because he becomes the ancestors? Kildana, not necessarily. I mean, Thrall would have an amazing amount of power, connection, I suppose you could say, to anima, and he would have a lot of anima because he was a very powerful warrior. That said, though, I genuinely, Ferorius, how you doing, bro? I genuinely don't think, because something that is sort of weird about the denizens of the Shadowlands, they don't appear to be shamans or mages or warlocks, or like they use their own type of magic, if that makes sense. They don't appear to be magic users in the traditional sense. Has anyone else noticed this? Placed again in the moor, chained, the Shadowlands will be closed as before. Sanan, the problem with that is how would that be achieved? I'll give you guys a theory to sort of mull over as I go to the bathroom quickly. But I'll give you this sort of discussion that myself and Apocalypse were having on the Patreon podcast that I think is food for thought. At the end of the Shadowlands, Blizzard will have a choice. We still have to see Nosdormu come into existence. Or not come into existence, but we need to see Nosdormu prevent his own death, right? Which is literally what turns him into Morozond, right? we have Chromie, the Bronze Dragonflight, and the Infinite Dragonflight. All those stories are at the moment sort of open. Now, what if at the end of this expansion, Galakrond eats all of the dragonflights? So he consumes all of the dragonflights. And in the hour of his final, in his final hour, Nosdormu, in order to prevent his death, turned back time to before N'Zoth was killed. Because you now have a choice, right? You can either deal with the end of your species, the end of your life, and the jailer winning, or N'Zoth. These are your literal two choices. He makes the choice to go back to before N'Zoth was killed, and thus turns into Morozond, but also sort of fixing everything within the Shadowlands. I'll read what you guys have to say when I get back. Just quickly want to go to the bathroom. There you go. All right. This isn't a what channel? I do always wash my hands. The relentless. We're married to a law junkie. Laura's baby, how you doing? You and I spent our sick break talking about the Nathris. I'm so happy. Oh, nice, Lassia's baby. I think that is sort of helpful, right? If whoever you're married to loves the same things that you do. No, I don't know why anyone would not wash their hands after they went for a pee. That makes no fucking sense. Are they ever going to take out Sargeras' sword out of Azeroth? The real hell is, if Blizzard is to be believed, then yes. Ian did say that we still have the sword inside Azeroth to deal with. So it has been said that they're aware of the sword still being there, and that maybe it will be removed at some point. The question is how much time they gotta clean. What do you mean they gotta clean? Once the Veil is restored, Anduin may come to Azeroth as a reformed King of Stormwind or a new Lich King with the objective to complete what Arthas couldn't. Sanon, so based on everything we've seen so far, Anduin is still in there, right? So Anduin has not been removed. His soul has not been removed. He hasn't been destroyed. So Anduin would almost guaranteed not come back as quote-unquote Lich King. I think when Anduin gets back, he will find a Tyrallion less than inclined to give up the throne. really hope Blizzard learned their lesson with time travel. Definitely Harmony. True, but how else do you fix this? It will be there as long as the cannon was not used. You will all... I think, personally, the reason the cannon was never used is because it was supposed to be used in BFA. And Blizzard ran out of time with BFA. This is exactly why I said my biggest fear for Shadowlands right now is that we end up with an expansion that is rushed towards the end. Like that would be the worst thing for me. Is if we end up with another expansion that's sort of being rushed to the end because there's just no other way, right? Blizzard has run out of time and we get another N'Zoth fiasco. But hopefully that isn't the case. Hopefully Blizzard have learned their lesson with the whole N'Zoth fiasco. With that being said, I don't see that. Comes for Azeroth. She will awaken. Take the sword and kills Zaval with it. End of WoW. You're all welcome. Massey, doubt. Anduin is like Frodo now. The scar will never heal. The jailer left his mark. There is something else that's very interesting that we can absolutely discuss here. And I'd love to get your thoughts on this. We are told that the Archon is healing nicely, but her wound has an interesting characteristic. What is that? We actually met through the game. He's normally the raider, and I'm the role player lore nerd. You're turning into the apostle of Sylvanas. Now we'll be even in the household for our love of Sylvanas. That's good. That is good. Sort of like Uthers, but then again, not like Uthers. Do you guys want to see what I'm talking about, or do you not give a shit? Because I can show you what I'm referring to. Now let's hope I actually remember exactly where the fuck this happened. Don't give a shit. Ferorius, you never give a shit. Oh my god, so many DMs coming through on Battle.net. I'm literally just loading the game. Well, actually, the PTR is installing a fucking update, so give me a second. Daedric, thank you so much for the sub, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. 4 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Daedric, how you doing, bro? I think he's asking for DMs on BNet. Yeah, I literally got a bunch of DMs on BNet, and I'm just updating the public test realm. Like, this is literally what I'm doing. I'm waiting for it to fucking update. Good, love the lore coming. Daedric, the lore is insane, and we're going to be logging into the PTR now for anyone that's sort of wondering. I just want to show you guys this first bit, because the first bit is where all the good shit is. Really, Slabby Cap, I haven't played WoW in a while. I haven't logged in for at least a week and a half. I've sort of been abstaining from games for a while. Last week, the back just wouldn't allow me to play anything. And then this week, I've been struggling to find a game that I'm actually interested in. I've been really fucking struggling. It can actually be closed because I do have it open on another. Why do I have so many fucking... Alright, that's better. Okay, there we go. Don't think Tyrannian is keen on keeping the throne. All the fun is happening in Shadowlands. Nothing to do on Azeroth. And Jockey, but remember the whisper. Remember the whisper. The Golden One claims a vacant throne. The Crown of Light brings only darkness. I'm glad to hear that, Germania. I think it's the opposite. I believe the light will see it as an opportunity. 100%. Did you see the data mine stuff about the Harvester of Wrath and Elune? Solid Snake, where? Where is this data mine stuff that you're talking about? If it's on WoW, I'm gonna be so happy. If I have to go fucking look for it, I'm not gonna be that happy. Where is this? Are we gonna get more data mine fucking spoiler stuff? Solid Snake, please tell me you have a link to this. Do you think Arthas might appear as the kid that Savannah saw, or the Arthas Uther threw in the mall? He will almost definitely be grown up at this point. I don't think he will appear as the child. I mean, that'd just be weird. I definitely wouldn't want him to turn up as the child. The child is useless. I want to see the real Arthas. What Elune shit? Show me. Someone give me a fucking link to the Elune shit. Because I'm not seeing it on Wowhead. It's definitely not on Wowhead. I mean, I've been through the Wowhead page multiple times today, and I've not seen anything new, and I don't imagine I've missed anything. It's like 9.1 story spoiler. Tell me more about Elune and the Venthyr, I guess. My dear Stonewright, Harvester of Wrath, Wielder of Elune. But Wielder of Elune, that makes no sense. My dear Stonewright, Harvester of Wrath, Wielder of Elune's... Probably Elune's something? Yeah, maybe Elune's power, Wielder of Elune's... Why can't you find it? Got pulled? Ah. Wait, he pulled it? Wielder of Elune's gift. Why would he pull it? Yeah, I don't see Taliesin's tweets unless I click on them. Unless I actively click on them. And it's nothing about Taliesin. Just want to be clear. I have no problem with the guy whatsoever. But I do... I don't care for politics being inserted into my every fucking life. So that's why I don't... I only take in politics as I choose. And there are some people that just like to insert politics into every single fucking day. So I have everyone that has ever... I'm not saying this is what Taliesin is doing, by the way. I'm just... Everyone that I see that posts anything about politics immediately gets muted or just removed from my Twitter and my YouTube. I literally will not listen to politics that's inserted without my fucking permission. Well, it did and rated it as well. But it's been pulled, apparently. Why has it been pulled? That's the big question. Alright, here we go. We'll do a new character. We'll delete this one. We'll do this again. Gonna have to go through the whole fucking story again, but okay, no problem. My dear Stonewright, Harvester of the Wrath. We just saw Solid Snake. That's all. And your precious Elune has Your Stoneborn cannot find us all, and your precious Elune has... Wait, so the Stoneborn actively serve Elune. Things are getting... That's fucking spicy. These were the quotes I could salvage, but not links. We did see one of the links. No, in Jockey, I will not. I only allow myself one transmog a year, and I've already done it. Natalie Frost, you and me both. But I already see a video coming up tomorrow about this.
Ah, my apprentice, you return at last.
Pathetic. A puppet dancing on strings.
I will not break. I will not break.
Why am I being shown this?
Your mind is already
Why?
broken. But even a broken thing
Why am I being shown this?
made to serve.
Sort of a broken fucking...
Secrets extracted.
A broken cinematic. Because it's not actually how the cinematic should look.
Armies.
Well, that's clearly not how...
What I require.
Alright, we've seen this. But now I don't want to skip because I'm scared maybe they put something else in here. Oh, okay. We'll watch this anyways.
Secret that the first one sought to hide. Yes. Your finest morn blade. And a crown fit for the king of the dead.
I don't know if there will be a cinematic right at the start, though, of 9.1. Could be. They're not going to show anything extra. No sort of insights. That's a little bit sad, but okay. Apparently, that was necessary. Thank you, Blizzard. Really appreciate that. All right, let's go. For some reason, this will not fucking work. Why will this not work? Fine. Make a great Chippendale. Wait, did I get the... Okay, wait, the quest didn't pop up. Why didn't the quest pop up? Hold up. Okay, never mind. It didn't pop up, but it is there. Apparently, we've also accepted this quest. Alright, I just didn't want to fuck this up. Because without the quest, we would be going to Ouroboros for literally no reason. There's more people on the PTR than there are people in the regular game. In live. Oh my god. I hate whenever I don't have fucking add-ons. Where's my mounts? Hold up, I first need to get a couple of things, yeah? This I need. And then I need a mount. Any mount would do. Not that one, though. Yeah, fuck it. We'll do this one. By the way, look at this skybox. I just want to show you guys this. The skybox is insane. Send you the screenshot of the Google search in which I found the quotes from Reddit via Twitter. Alright, I'll check it out in a second. Quickly look at this, guys. Look at fucking this. Look at how the maw has grown. Look at how big this thing is now. Tell me again that the maw wasn't previously the whole of the fucking Shadowlands. I don't have one of those potions with me, and I want to show something very specific right now, so... Can I not? No, don't go in there. Don't dismount. 5 lanterns now darkened. So, the 5 lanterns now darkened, I do believe, is the sigils. That fucking skybox, dude. Alright, here we go. This is where they say it. Andraste, this cannot be!
I am the Archon's will.
We were caught unaware. The jailer's power has grown more than any of us could have imagined. And then we don't get a fucking cinematic, of course. Alright.
All have a duty.
Anduin, now the jailer's pawn, we must take immediate action, Akalon. It is time for the Covenant to convene.
The balance must be restored.
It was... I'm pretty sure this is the guy that tells us that she is healing, but that her wound has a strange property. Did we miss it? Pretty sure we didn't. It is this guy. Pretty sure it's this guy that says it. Through the though the jailer remains confined to the moor, his cruelty extends beyond the bounds of his prison. Thankfully, the Archon is... Oh, it's this guy that says, sorry. Thankfully, the Archon is recovering from the attack, though I am told her wound has an unsettling quality. What do you guys think that is? One of the simps when she took the helm from Bolvar. Definitely Harmony. I would not discount that theory. It's got infected, I don't know, but how? Reverting in the way the Primus did? It might be that very wound is now going to fucking sort of take her. The Eternal Ones and their allies await you in the High Lord Fordragon in the Arbiter's chamber. I shall open the way. With her voice have I spoken. She is fucking down, mate.
Blessed be her voice. Oh.
I mean, so it could be that the whole... I've tried to look at it here, right? I've tried to look at it sort of from here, but I don't see shit from here. Outside of there's something on her, but I can't see what it is. Rationok, thank you for doing something. Really fucking appreciate it. 9 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't see shit from here. But it says that she's recovering and that, you know, that's not gonna kill her. But it might be that she's now turning into what she used to look like.
We stand together against the darkness.
Alright, just a cool story. Now we get another cinematic that we don't actually get.
Your path
A cool
is
thing
chosen.
happens here, but we don't get to see it because fuck it. No, it's just a wound. Eye of Kilrock wouldn't help because we wouldn't be able to get up there. Like, this is literally an invisible wall. I mean, it's just a normal wound. It says that it has an unsettling quality, so it wouldn't look different, but it would do something to her. The wound may be claiming her somehow. Alright, so we have this now. I'm ready to leave. The cool thing has now happened, and it's good. Alright, here we go. The Wind Queen must be the jailer's next target. We must do all we can to protect... Oh, okay. I fucking love when that happens. It could be mentally. It could also be physically, right? It could just be claiming her. Right? That is also possible. It could just be claiming her. The PTR is buggy as fuck, though. So it's not a lot of fun to play. The real Alice, you'll probably not be able to see her as she should be in 9.1, not yet at least. Richard the Hack, that's kind of what I think. I sort of think that it's corrupting her, either physically or mentally or both. Hacker, do you think this expansion will have a tie-in with Ulduar as as there is big lore connections with Odin, as well as Odin talking about wanting to see his brethren in Uldor. Terrence, I don't think so. I think a lot of the same lore will definitely be sort of revisited, but I don't think that we'll go to Ulduar. Then again, I could be wrong. This expansion could go anywhere. Okay, this seems to be the literal place where it crashes every time. This application has encountered a critical error. Fatal error. Okay, so clearly we're not allowed to play the PTR. For some reason, the game doesn't want us to play. It's decided that no one plays. Don't climb to the top of the chains in Korthia. You get perm stuck. Lectos, so you wanna hear something funny? I literally the other day logged into the PTR and got. Suddenly, I was in the air above the mall. Like, literally above the mall, almost inside the veil, slowly falling from up top, slowly falling to the ground. I recorded it. Alex has the footage. But I actually recorded it. It begins in 2 to 3 hours. Probably why it's so scuffed, because raid tasting begins soon. So hopefully once the raid tasting is done and everyone has started to log out, we'll be able to get a better view. I just want to make today's video live because I forgot. I should have done this already. So I'm just quickly doing that, and then we can get back to chatting. All right, there we go. Dominated by disconnect. You are chained. Well, I mean, it's one of the reasons I hate playing the PTR. It is so fucking buggy. The PTR really is just annoying, to say the very least. It is fucking annoying. Where did you send it to me? You say you sent it on Twitter. I'm on Twitter and I'm not seeing anything sent to me. Only one point where you get stuck. It's the world limit. I mean, are we at the world limit? Gotta go answer some shitty clients' phone calls. Nice hanging out with you, Akko. Keldana, thank you for hanging out. Dude, really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, bro. We'll see you tomorrow. Right, taste today. Maybe it's that. Which bosses are being tasted again? Because we might be in for some more spoilers. It is possible. Does anyone know which bosses are getting tasted today? I have no fucking clue. I don't pay attention to that shit. The 9, and I don't know. The 9, of course, has got some, hopefully, some pretty interesting shit. Because 9 ravens take flight. When their mistress calls, 9 ravens take flight. So there is a bit of story there. Soul Render could be a cool fight as well. Although I haven't raided in such a long fucking time, I genuinely wouldn't know. Like, I genuinely would have no idea. Is there any raiders here? Like, how many people here actually raid? Can I ask that? I think the mistress of the 9 ravens is Helia. It's possible. Tonius, is very possible. We always sort of assumed it might be Sylvanas, but Helia being a part of it now, almost definitely. A raid? Me? What's a raid? I do. Giovanni, me too. Haven't raided hardcore since Wrath. CDJ, how you doing, bro? Tonight's my very first time doing something raid-like. You will enjoy it. I hate the fact that my time is in other people's hands, so I don't raid. I refuse to raid because other people do not respect your time, and then they're bad and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then they wipe, and then we have to do it again. So I've just decided, no thanks. I'll do things where my time belongs to me. I hate my time being wasted, and raids is perhaps one of the best ways to have your time be wasted by other people. I want friends to raid or dungeon with. Have to wait till BF gets a PC. Slabby Cat, well, you can just join a guild. You'll make friends fast. That's called playing with bad mentality. No, it's called playing with bad people. Yesterday on Mythic Sludgefest, I got really mad at my melee guildies. First fight, I got my blood boiling. Kashveri, there were so many fights. So my last hardcore raid was Legion. Fucking name's gone now. Final raid of Legion. Why can I not remember this name? What was it called again, chat? Mortalist, thank you for the follow, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. And Taurus, thank you, chat. Fuck me. I could not remember that name. But okay, my last hardcore raid was in Taurus. Well, not hardcore, semi-hardcore, not hardcore. We raided about 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, so nothing hardcore about it. But I was angry and pissed off in every single one of those fights. Every single one of those fights drove me absolutely fucking insane. Salius, because you have people like, for example, our rogue, just as an example, that gets hit by the same fucking ability every single time. Every pull, the same ability hits the rogue. And every fucking pull, the rogue acts surprised. As if, what the fuck? This wasn't here before. This is the first time I'm seeing this ability. And it's like, no, you can't. This is literally the 50th time you've wiped on this. One would think by now you would know that this thing happens and you should be looking out for it. But no, not you. No, not you. You will make sure that you get hit by it. The problem is with the idea of benching them is if I really wanted to do it correctly, I would have had to bench half my fucking raid group. Which I wasn't willing to do because then I would have to actually... I would have to rebuild the raid group. Fucking work all. Did I miss anything good? Did he look at the vendor thing? Solid Tech, I don't know why you sent it to me. Because I've looked at Twitter. I'm literally on Twitter and I'm not seeing it here. Is the GM but harder to bench? I was the GM, so I could bench if I really wanted to. There was just no way to fucking bench them because then I would have to bench half my raid team. I was wondering of playing some WoW once more. I'm more of a PvP player, but left WoW in WoD. Is it worth? Wishing well, it's going to be worth in a couple of months. Because in a couple of months, PvP gear will once again come back. So you'll have PvP gear that you can play with. And then I would say, yes, PvP is in a pretty good spot if PvP gear comes back. So yes, I would absolutely say good time to be alive. I was wondering, okay, so I really have to say that I love the fact that you are the only streamer who used the word cunt regularly, bro. Olvar the Viking, how you doing, bro? I have a potty mouth, 100%. Say what, Innocence? In wrestling, this guy, Eric Young, fell down every time his prio went off for a year straight. Oh my god. You see, I couldn't do that. So here's what pisses me off about fucknuts who raid who shouldn't, right? So if you don't know what you're doing, if you're just bad at the game, yeah, that's fine. You're allowed to be bad at the game. I don't mind one bit. But then do normals and do heroics. That's where the bad people play. Not all. There are good players who don't do mythic because they don't have the time. But for the most part, the bad people should be playing in normal and heroic. But then normal and heroic is so fucking easy that even the bad people think that they know what they're doing, and so then they move over to mythic. And this is where the bad people then start fucking up the whole raid for everyone else, because the bad people don't even know what their buttons do. So did you know that I once played with I believe at the time it was a rogue. This was quite a while back. This was sort of Warlord to Draenor. There was a rogue who, and I genuinely mean this, believed in their hearts of hearts that poisons added 0 damage to their class as an assassination rogue. They didn't put the poisons on the weapons. Thought, nah, I'm doing enough damage without the poisons. And it was legitimately, I was looking at their damage and I thought, this is low. This is quite low. So I went on Warcraft logs and I thought, okay, let's see what the fuck's going on here. And at first I thought to myself, wait, is this a combat rogue? Can't be combat, because the ability is very clearly assassination. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, maybe it's low because something's fucked and it's not picking up poison damage. So I asked him, dude, is your poison damage not being recorded for some reason? What's going on? And he's like, no, I don't use poisons. It just slows you down. You don't need it. This was a mythic raider, ladies and gentlemen. This was a fucktard who thought he could do mythics. So, yeah, that was fun. I also once had a mage who refused to play fire or frost because arcane was just as good and it was easier. Even at the time, though, arcane was sort of bottom of the log, not good. But it was easier and it was just as good because in his hands, fire and frost would be just as good as arcane, if not worse. Can't really fault him for not applying poisons. He's just not proficient with weapon handling and doesn't want to cut himself. Yeah, but he should fuck himself. Bloke here, and I don't understand how you can be hit with that amount of mobility. I had a real life friend that I stopped playing with because she swore up and down all add-ons were breaking TOS. Why? So I have raided in the past without add-ons. It is doable. It's very easy to do. You can play the game without add-ons. But why would she be convinced that all add-ons break TOS? Like, I'm not doubting this. All right, so here we have from I can't remember who the fuck sent me this now. From Jake. All right, so Jake sent this. This is the exact spoilers as they exist. My dear Stonewright, harvester of wrath, wielder of insert whatever it is about Elune. Your Stoneborn cannot find us all, and your precious Elune has... ... Yeah, all rogues should always apply poison. But, I mean, I could still sort of forgive an outlaw rogue that decides not to apply poison, right? When I say sort of forgive, I mean I wouldn't kick them as fast, right? I'd still kick them, but not as fast. But if you're an assassination rogue that does literally the very thing that does all of your damage you decide isn't worth, then of course that is a whole different fucking problem. I have so many ideas about this, but I need to think about them. I can't really speculate on this until I've thought about this a little bit more. Any guides for proper PvE? Was thinking switching onto PvE from PvP if I get back. Wishing well, I used to do guides. I don't do guides anymore. Your base bet for everything PvE would be the Discords, right? So every class has its own Discord server, and on there you usually find all of the builds, all of the data mining, and all of the sort of theory crafting that goes into how to build your class. No, not my Discord. My Discord is just for lore, wishing well. Literally the class Discords. So you could probably go into my Discord and ask people for the Discord that handles the class that you want to play, and there will be someone. Heck, I could be that someone that gives you the link to that Discord. So yeah, just ask in Discord. I see 10xx a lot. What do you mean 10xx? To be clear, didn't stop playing with the person because of the add-on thing. She was kind of a bit crazy in other ways too. You have to tell us now, definitely, Harmony. You can't drop a little nugget like that and then not tell us why she was a bit crazy. Just going, oh, Preach is very good as well. If you want sort of, I would say, sort of not necessarily advanced guides, at least not on all of these classes. He does advanced guides, but he does above average. So if you're already in the sort of above average category, Preach Gaming would be my opinion. Preach is very, very fucking good, and he knows how to play the game as well, which is always a good thing. Harvest of Wrath. The stone rights are not immortal, Lectos. The stone rights are not mortal. They were sort of born within the Shadowlands. So the stone rights is if they have the power of the Loon, then that is something very different. The kind of person who would chronically lie about things. She told people she had like 4 different degrees, and she was a stripper at one point, stuff like that. Can be as funny as Fox. I really love Preach's videos. Why would people lie about shit like that? Like, why? Especially about having 4 degrees. All that really shows you is that you don't have the ability to stick to just one thing. Like, that doesn't make you smart. She was also 400 plus pounds and didn't ever leave her home. Whoa. A stripper for who? Like, who did she strip for, though? I'm sure there's men who is really into the 400 plus category of women. Online degrees, yeah. She got them. She literally pumped them out one at a time, month after month, new degree. There we go. Orkane, how you doing, bro? Usually 36.3 degrees Celsius. Well, that is normal. Although, when was this? I think yesterday when I went to the shop, I was 35.2. I mean, it's because I was friends with her at Home Health Aid. Crackerjack box prizes are degrees nowadays. McCulloch, how you doing, bro? You want the Altered Time Discord? There you go. Go to Altered Time. If someone can post that into the Discord for him, into general or community, either one of those would be fine. I'm trying to look where. You could do it community or general. I think general would be fine as well, but if someone can give him that that link there, that'd be great. Thank you very much, Natalie Frost. There you go. You can literally just click on that and you'd be good to go. Greek altar time. No, not Greek altar time, giant rat guy. We don't care about the Greeks. We care about the altar time. Cancel tonight? Yeah, because the servers are shit. That's why they canceled it, because the servers are completely broken. I mean, you guys just saw we tried to play PTR and it just did not work for us at all. But I am looking for a new game, guys. I'm looking for a new game. I'm looking for something to play to keep me busy with. And I genuinely don't know what. Every game I see, I'm just sort of looking at and going, that's not really what I want. I don't want to play that. Play Mountain Blade Bannerlord. Just did a terrain update. Valheim is something that Poomonkey and Macmillan have been trying to get me back into. But again, I have a sort of meh attitude towards almost every game. Yeah, I'm not a fan of EVE Online. Bannerlord was really good. Warhammer Online for the PvP penis? No. It's lovely so far, but I'm afraid of doing it too much. I haven't noticed any difference with the terrain update, honestly. It's just nothing is really speaking to me on a fundamental level. Right? Nothing is really speaking to me on a fundamental level. On a level that I go, God, I need to play this. There's been... Oh, for fuck's sake. Are you serious, bro? Yeah, I know the camera is frozen. Don't worry about it. I'm well aware of it. I'm gonna fix it now. Alright, let's see if that fixed things. Okay, there we go. We are back. There's still issues of areas not being from the front. Fucking hell. I'm literally rolling my chair on top of my pants. You've talked about it so much. I'd love to watch you stream Witcher 3. Dinosaur, I finished Witcher 3 again not too long ago, actually. So you're gonna have to give me... a couple of, like, at least a year. Next year, we'll do another Witcher 3 playthrough, because why not? So what do you have here for me, Steam? What do you have? I don't want to play that. Don't want to play that. Don't want to play that. I might want to play this at some point. Germano, I've played Witcher 3 seven times, all in all. Hold on, and there it is. Mythic rating, Shard of Domination. Savia, there's also an entry requirement regarding Stone Ride. Hold up. Under which portion of it? So the visage within the streams of the Molewalker's anima, Bulva 4 Dragon. Good, then there's no need for introductions. We've come to push back against the Jailer's forces, plunder our secrets. These forces seek to plunder our secrets. Is magic bound with the Primus sigil? Is it familiar, Molewalker? It is much like the memories. This is our only path forward. We have no choice but to try. Thus, there's broken, impressive considering. In white letters. My dear Stone Ride, Harvester of Wrath, wielder of always so clever, only I am not the infiltrator. I am the distraction. This must be Sylvanas who says this. This must be Sylvanas who says this, right? Always so clever, only I am not the infiltrator. I am the distraction. Boring, I've already collected your pets. What? How did you know how to defeat my pets? Okay, fuck me. Did you welcome back, bro? In the middle now? DK, if that helps. I mean, we did see that, but there's a bit more in this one. Because here he says, your Stoneborn cannot find us all, and your precious Illusion has, and then it stops, right? So there is a little bit more in this post from Reddit. So that is sort of very interesting. Let's see, what the fuck is updating? Because this needs to update. Even though I'm not going to be playing it. Killigar, how you doing, bro? I genuinely don't know. I've been on a sort of lull last few weeks. Just not really being sure what games I want to play. But I do appreciate it, Xavier. D. Walters, how you doing, bro? Wait, you've been here the whole time? Why are you saying hello now? Why, though? Dawn of Man. I mean, that's an old game. I've played that one to death. And it got boring fast. The problem is with most indie games is they're not as good. So they're good for a short while, and then they get really, really fucking boring. Grim Dawn. I'm trying to remember now if I've played Grim Dawn. I want to say yes, but I probably didn't. There's a good chance that I didn't. I've enjoyed Outriders quite a bit. The story is pretty cool in Outriders. The game itself, sort of meh. Kush Fury. Okay, so I'll explain to you my problem. I've already finished Cyberpunk twice. But I want to play Cyberpunk. Only I don't want to play Cyberpunk right now. Dumb question. Yeah, that is a dumb question, the real. What do you think? Of course I'm looking forward to it. I can't fucking wait. I legitimately can't wait. But yeah, I'm looking for Cyberpunk, but not Cyberpunk right now. Because I don't want to play Cyberpunk again until the next few patches are in. And then I'll play Cyberpunk again. But I'm in love with Cyberpunk. And I've been enjoying Cyberpunk quite a bit. But now I am sort of like, let's give it a rest until the first major patches come. And then we'll play it again just to see what story they've added to it. Oh, you said hi to him. Okay. Okay. I'm following you. How many people here have played Mr. Prepper? This is sort of a fun game to get lost in if you have some time. Mr. Prepper. It's really cool. It's really funny. Doesn't work as it should sometimes. Like, I've had a couple of bugs. But yeah, I just sort of touched it. Just quickly tapped into it and sort of checked it out. Trying to finish The Shore. What the fuck's The Shore about? CDJ, so Mr. Prepper is about Lovecraftian game. Ooh. Search for Farthest Frontier, a new game coming this year. I'm assuming we're searching on YouTube. The upcoming strategy, Farthest Frontier, Crate Entertainment. Saw the Little Dictator. All right.
Oh, vidíte, s vami sú.
No, bro. I can't understand a fucking word you're saying. I like the graphics. He's literally just looking at pictures. There's no gameplay. This is so misleading. But I do like this. This looks pretty fucking good. This looks like my type of game. Farthest Frontier. Yeah. This is my type of game. Do you remember the footage of the cinematic at the end where Sylvanas arrives in front of the jailer? And then we see her getting pulled in? What if this could be what would see at the end of the Sylvanas encounter? I actually hope not. Not like that. No, I don't think so. The simulator with some military action. So I am a freak for simulation games. Just want to point out though that I'm so Digit. I don't think that's what's gonna happen, because that was clearly Sylvanas becoming that was clearly Sylvanas becoming part of the Jailer's army, right? So that already happened. Oh, Frostpunk is so good. Frostpunk's so good. Let's look at this game. Caesar 3.
This island feels like it's maintained, untouched by time. The wind and the waves pause for a minute to rest. The calm before the storm.
I think it's fair to say my interest have been piqued. What the fuck? Oh, shit, look at that. Yeah, the game definitely didn't waste any time. They went literally from, oh, look at the beautiful landscape, this is so cute, to, oh my god, fucking monsters. That's eerie. This is an eerie game. Okay. I love C3. Still play that. Pharaoh. So I loved Pharaoh. I loved Caesar. Why did your stomach say no? Definitely a good game. There's another game that we started playing and then sort of stopped playing. But hopefully my camera doesn't again fuck out. But we do have this. That we sort of started playing and then got busy with other things, so didn't fucking play again. We started playing San and this. We played, when was this? This was just before my back started to give me fucking trouble. Inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, The Sinking City depicts an era in which the ethnic, racial, and other minorities were frequently mistreated by society. Alright, this is sort of where we left off. Like, this is where we stopped with the Sinking City, and I'm not entirely sure where we were meant to go. What's up, bro?
Stop it. Stop it.
Boy!
What's your problem? What's your problem?
What happens if I shoot him? No, let's not do that. We're supposed to be the good guys. Well, I don't have many fucking bullets. I have 2 bullets. This thing did blink. I can't remember how I do half this shit. Hold up. How do I make myself... How do I activate my... Fuck me, I can't remember. Alright. No. Fuck me. Hold up. Settings. Controls. Climb, run, walk, aim, sure. Melee attack, crouch, interact, flashlight. Pen selected evidence on the screen. Mine's IQ, thank you. I could have sworn that this thing fucking blinked. Oh, I see some things here. What's this? What exactly is this? For the Pharaoh remake, it was a great game. Pharaoh was such a good fucking game. Rags and a brick. Okay, thanks. Infested area. Wait a second, what? I only have 4 bullets. Yeah, let's not go into the infested area with only 4 bullets. I've never played Disco Elysium. I've never checked it out. Isn't that the game where you'd never fight? Pretty sure that's the game where you don't fight. I don't even fucking know what I'm doing. They say scavenge around the city. Do I know where I'm supposed to be going? Okay, let's quickly see here. Lore, casebook, letters from Oakland. The hotel owner allowed me to look through the weird notes he found in the rooms of disappeared newcomers. Among them, I found several pages from the diary of a man describing his life in Oakland. He suffered from visions and marked the places where they happened. Was he trying to avoid them? Maybe, yes. Okay, this is a question mark. I'm guessing, let's go to the question mark. So we'll just run alongside Asher Road until whenever happens. I'm assuming the game is a bit loud. Okay, that should be better. Is the sound good now? A Hitman game. I want to see you 5-hit. See how 5-hit you are. I think I played one of the Hitmans, but I didn't play a lot of it. Is there anything to loot here? No. You're a detective that solves crimes, but you can't fight. Or you don't kill people. Is that correct? Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking with fire. I see something written on this door. Wait, we've already been here. Yes, this we did. Why am I here again? The fuck? I've done this. Is there another place I'm supposed to go? Casebook. Lost at sea. Okay, hold up. The Expedition Archive is lost, but I still have clues to follow up on. They left the city on a freighter from Grimhaven Bay. There might be recent postings or ads about the freighter in the Oakmont Chronicle. Am I not in the Oakmont Chronicle right now?
Guess I don't need the key. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition?
No, this is not the Oakmont. Never mind. So we've done this bit. Does it ever say that there's something here? Or around here, at least. We need to go to the Oakmont Chronicle. So we need to go to the paper. This is a mystery. What mystery is it, though? Did I put this here? Oh, never mind. That's my boat. This is police department. This is Chronicle. Okay, this is where we want to go. All right, here we go. Now we're cooking with fucking gas, ladies and gentlemen. I know where we want to go now. Wait a second, what's this? Hello? Hello? If something jumps out at me, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Hello? Of course there's a fucking basement. Literally can't loot anything in here. Now there's nothing to loot here, so why can I come into this building if there's nothing in this building? Well, fuck it. I guess we'll be going then. Wait. That was a bit mindfucky. Got some alcohol. How the fuck is he still... Why is he alive again? Okay. Jesus, we have trouble. We have problems, guys. We don't have any more bullets. Oh my fuck. How do I get out of here? I legit don't... I can't get out of here. Just keep running, I suppose. What a freaky ass fucking place. Alright. Can't. Tell me I have something else to kill him with. Shit. My God. We're seeing things and we're dying. No, you motherfucker. How is that thing just never dying? Oh my God. Okay. Not a good idea to go into that house. That house is a fucking trap. Ooh. Okay. Okay, thanks for the revival, I suppose. We want to go there, so let's fucking go there. Knife no version? Not quite. But I have learned my lesson. Do not fuck with people if you don't have bullets to back yourself up. But how am I gonna get more fucking bullets? Someone has to pay me in bullets. Yeah, I need bullets. VR was terrifying. I'm terrible with things jumping at me. I'm not a guy for... I don't like scary games. Alex is on fire. How you doing, bro? This is called... The Sinking City. I should actually change... Hold up, let's just change this. Alright, now people should know. Okay. It seems like even the buildings that's filled in this place is completely fucking ransacked. Windows broken. Have some pride, people.
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
Yes.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Can you guys hear, or should I turn it up? Steven, this is called The Sinking City. All right, so we'll turn it up slightly. What's that got to do with that?
Help me out here. What's the connection between newcomers and old newspapers?
It's cold sleeping in the street, and they come to collect the old newspapers for warmth.
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer. Charles Reed, private investigator. And I also need your old newspapers, the archive, to be exact.
Ah, so you're the one who cracked the Albert Throgmorton murder case. Nice work. I'm Helen Bland. Say, can you do me a favor? Give me an exclusive interview. You won't regret it. The Oakmont Chronicle is the best newspaper for miles around.
It's the fucking only one.
All right, I'll be sure to make some time for you, Miss Bland.
We are the only newspaper in town. This is on an island, by the way. And she claims that they're the best newspaper miles around. That is... Okay, never mind. Is it on Steam? I don't know if it is on Steam, Alex of Fire, but it is on the EA sort of shop thing, Origin shop. Let's do the interview now.
Still want that interview? I got some time now, if you're ready.
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
You're not writing? I served in the Navy. Sure.
I'm a former Navy diver. Served on the USS Cyclops, and well, after the war, I found myself in Boston. I've been a private eye ever since.
Oh, a brave sailor. Well, I imagine you'll get accustomed to local life easily. We have plenty of water around here. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you to Oakmont?
I'm looking for the source of the visions. I'm tracking down missing people. I don't know. What are we looking for here? Can anyone remember? Camikins, how you doing, bro? No, we're definitely not looking for sex, Alex. Definitely not that. Fuck it.
Currently, I'm tracking down the source of the psychic phenomenon that's been causing madness and visions all across the country.
Yes. It affected people here, but we were much more concerned with the flood. Though Robert Throgmorton sent an expedition.
Yeah, and then hired me to find it. Ironic, don't you think?
I think that's enough for now. I can't give the readers too much all at once. Thank you for your interview, Mr. Reed.
Well, that was literally not
Maybe
looking
I'll
very
do
deep.
Something interesting enough to make the papers again. You never know. See you later.
Very deep interview. I feel as if she's really cut down to the fucking core of the matters. Archives. You will often need to look for useful information within various city archives. Archives contain topical information. For example, City Hall holds general data about citizens and organizations, while info about specific categories of people, like criminals or patients, can be found in police or hospital records. In the casebook, evidence may have a hint icon indicating you need to do some archive research. In the archive interface, select the piece of evidence you wish to investigate, then choose 3 criteria to search for relevant information. A search conducted with the correct evidence and criteria will result in new information being added to the casebook. Okay. Choose the evidence. The Lost Expedition. Front page district. Select 3 criteria to search from. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what criteria? After the flood. Celebrities or officials? What do you guys think? Or section, maybe? It would have been front page, wouldn't it? No, advertisements. Final expedition to discover the origins of mass hysteria gripping Oakmont. The expedition was to explore the seabed near Oakmont. Contact with the expedition was soon lost. Albert Throckmorton was the only known survivor. He was subsequently murdered. I was hired to find any expedition members, dead or alive. Throckmorton will be waiting for my report in his manor in southern Old Grove. Fat Man trying to get that W? Set title, Fat Man trying to get that W. Fuck you, Ferorius. See advertisements, district. Don't really fucking know. No information regarding a selected evidence found. What the? I still think after the flood. But maybe this is gonna be very fucking boring. Alpha Minister, how you doing, bro? I have an idea I want your opinion on. How would you like to see an expansion of WoW that just goes to an underground paradise with giant tunnel networks and societies we never heard about? Well, it... Minister, it depends, because... I mean, what would this have to do with the current lore that we're exploring? The Greeks to make a race? Why would he? The Greeks suck, giant rat guy. Nerubians. Yeah, but the Nerubians, I think, wouldn't fit into a new expansion. They would be part of this expansion to a large degree. I mean, it would be cool, but how would Blizzard do it? Because based on recent knowledge, Blizzard doesn't do that too well. The reason I'm not changing the title is because I'm not planning on playing this for long. I literally just got back into it because I thought, fuck it. But this thing is not working as I think it should be. Partially burned cargo manifest. Key to the headquarters. See, this is a bad news. The archive lost, but I still have clues to follow up on. They left the city on a freighter from Grimhaven Bay. Okay, so clearly we have a district. It's gonna leave me on Grimhaven Bay. There might be recent postings or ads about the freighter in Oakmont Chronicle. Maybe journalists. Maybe not journalists, maybe advertisements, search. The 30-ton ship, Titania, is currently available for hire. You will find it fully equipped for transport as well as the aiding of underwater ventures and exploration for the price of 70 rifle bullets or the equivalent thereof per week. Those interested are urged to contact Captain Jeremiah Saunders for contracting details. He can be found at Pier 3, Oakmont Port, Grimhaven Bay. Just love the idea, not sure why. It literally came up in my mind 5 minutes ago. Chris Mason is making an MMO with D&D rules with his new company. Just Jeff, what makes you think that? Like, what makes you think that? No, we will definitely play this. We'll probably play this tomorrow. We'll probably play this a bit tomorrow. I don't wanna play this right now. I'm not in the mood. I do apologize, but yeah, I'm just not in the fucking mood. I don't know what's going on and why. Plus, I was sort of planning on just hanging out tonight, not really playing video games. And my plan tonight was just to hang out and sort of chat to you guys, not play games. Even though we do have to play some games at some point. What games would you guys like to see? Just out of curiosity. That he is using mechs for D&D for his new MMO, not lore-wise, I believe. You took our powers to change the title, didn't you? I don't even know how I would take that power away from you. Just Jeff, what did you just link? Alone in the Dark? No. Killigar, definitely fucking not. Divinity on stream. I think most people will be bored out of their fucking minds, Apocalypse, with Divinity on stream. I don't want to be I don't want to be too forward, but Divinity is a long ass, slow ass fucking game. Yeah, but CDJ, have you ever been in Preacher's streams whenever he's playing those games? Chat is sort of talking to each other in those games. So chat is sort of keeping each other company. Daddy One Child, thank you for the tier 1 sub, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. 5 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In my Divinity playthrough was fairly decent viewership for not being Warhammer. Jobel, Half-Life is too fucking old. And Hitman, I would need to get a Hitman first, Florius. Although I think I have a free one that I got from the Epic Store. Which one did I get from? No, Epic Store. Fucking GOG Store. Which one did I get from GOG? Hitman Absolution is the one I got. Yeah. I got this one. Hitman Absolution. Was the lag tree. What lag tree? Played this 10 months ago for about 4 hours and then I got bored. Apocalypse again. Those are games that you'd need a good amount of fucking time for, right? I have Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Didn't you see? It was just on Steam. There you go. Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2. Vagrant Story. Impromptu co-stream lore discussion. Go. Last goes. I'm 4 hours into a stream where I literally talk the whole fucking time. I genuinely doubt I would be able to do another 2 hours. My voice would give out. Like, the only time I can do really long streams is if we're playing video games. Because then you're not talking all the time. Then you're actually, you're playing games and you're sort of talking in between. But when I'm doing just chatting, I find my limit is about 4 hours. After 4 hours, I literally the other day had a coarse voice the next day. Like, my voice was actually fucking sore the next day. The dream I'm farming renown and WoW to get a fucking bow higher than 148. No, I'm sort of thinking tomorrow we can probably play some Sinking City. Or if you guys want to see the Divinity Original Sin, we can play that. It is a long game though. I do want to warn you. It's a long game. It's a slow fucking game. It's one of those RPG games that you really have to fucking dig your heels in. Because, yeah, the game does not respect your time one fucking bit. It wants to tell you a story, and it's going to put you as deep into that story as humanly possible. And that's it. That is legit what the game is going to do. She's going to shove you deeper and deeper into the story. It's a pretty cool story, though. But I'll have to start over, obviously. Over Minister, I'm waiting for the new Baldur's Gate to finish. Once it's finished, we will be playing it. Chester, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. But it's really killing everyone. Yeah, but I don't want to do that, Apocalypse. I actually want to see the story. So the only thing that really bugs me in Divinity Original Sin is the combat. I'm not a big fan of the combat. What game? Minister. Divinity Original Sin. Yeah. It's got a multiplayer function. Oh. Wait. Real Baldur's Gate. I don't know if multiplayer is yet, has been added to Baldur's Gate yet. I'm assuming that they will have multiplayer. And the reason I'm assuming that is because Divinity Original Sin is from the same company, Larian Studios, and they have multiplayer in their game. So I'm pretty sure Baldur's will have multiplayer. So they had it from day one. Okay. I'm waiting for it to finish. I don't play RPGs in fucking... I don't want to play it in chapters. Right? That's my biggest issue with how they launched Baldur's Gate. Is they legitimately decided, you know what? We're going to launch the game chapter 1. And then a couple of months later, or even I think we're almost a year later now, we still don't have chapter 2. And that really pisses me off because I want to get into the game, play the game, and really enjoy the game. I do not want to play the first chapter and then wait months until I can get to chapter 2 of the story. How about Witcher 3? Just Jeff, as I said earlier on stream, we will play Witcher 3 again, but not now. I've just recently, like less than a year ago, finished my last Witcher 3 playthrough. If I do it again, I'm just going to be bored because it's too fresh in my mind still. I need to give myself some time. I also, once, like you guys can know this already, but once the content updates for Cyberpunk comes out, I'm going to be playing that. That's where I started so many years ago. I never played Ultima. I was more a Baldur's Gate fan. Baldur's Gate is insane. Yennefer. Obviously, Germanio. Obviously. Always Yennefer. That's actually the one thing I've never changed in my Witcher 3 playthroughs. I've never picked Triss. I have always picked Yennefer. Every single fucking time. I never picked Triss. I just think Yennefer is far hotter than Triss. Although I know the community is sort of split on that. Fucking camera's gone again. What the hell? This... Oh my fuck, hold up. Yeah, I'll explain now. Nope. First I have to do this. Alright, there we go. That worked. No, it's the camera that freezes. It's because of this. I'll show you now. So... But I'm waiting for it to just get a little bit more stable before I install it. I need this beta version of the motherboard, which improve USB device compatibility. It's a problem that sort of started with some motherboards on AMD's new 5000 series, where half your USB ports will just not fucking work. They'll just not function. And the other half drops power to the USB every once in a while. Like, it happens quite often where, like, especially when I'm recording videos, like some days it doesn't happen once and other days it just does not stop happening. Like, I'll be in the game or I'll be in the middle of a video and then suddenly realize, oh, the video fucking froze again. Well, that's fun. So yeah, it's sort of annoying. but hopefully they come out with a stable version of this soon, so that I can no longer worry about that shit. So we'll sort of see. Best guesses, I suppose. She's thorny like the Dark Lady. Who? Yennefer. Yennefer is really, really fucking hot. And I like her attitude. Like, the way she is, really cool. Really cool fucking character. So, who here's played, if you've played Witcher 3, what's your choice? Yennefer or Triss? I like the Yennefer from the TV show. I didn't initially. So initially I did not like her, but I do like her now. I like how many people prefer Yen. I definitely like how many people prefer Yen. Why do you not like her in the show? What bothers you about her in the show? Who are you talking about? I don't know. Something about her in the show just puts me off. Not sure what it is. That's weird. I don't know why, because I personally didn't like her immediately. Like, initially I didn't like her, but then I actually did start to like her quite a lot. So towards the end of Witcher 3, first season, I actually really enjoyed Yennefer. Like, I had no problem with the Yennefer from the TV show. However, ladies and gentlemen, with that fucking said, I think we're gonna call it here for tonight. Just because my voice is tired, and I do still have a couple of things that needs to be done towards videos and shit that I wanna finalize. I am, however, going to be hosting or raiding Mr. Pyromancer. So for those of you that don't know, he is busy making a video. So, you know, absolutely go say hello to him, even if you're gonna go watch someone else or gonna go do something else, still just go say hello at least, and then go do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Tomorrow night we will be back, more lore, more WoW stuff, and we'll either play PTR or we'll jump into Sinking City, whichever one we decide on as a stream, or maybe even Divinity Original Sin. Who the fuck knows? But ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves, take care of your family members, your loved ones, and as always, I will see you tomorrow. Peace out, fam.
Ink raid? Uh-oh. I don't think so. I don't remember reading.